Okay.
Showtime! Woo! 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 Styling and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313, and by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. What is up, brother?
Not much. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day to everybody out there. And we do have a guest tonight. Below me is Sean from Red, White, and Bills podcast. And if y'all don't know who he is, go ahead and join, subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's also on Nickel City Mafia as well. Shout out to him. And he's also in here. Looking forward to this one. Yes, man. We're gonna have some fun, man. We are like what, 6 days away from Buffalo Bills football, man. I cannot wait. Guys, are you ready? Like, this is finally. We're here.
Football.
We've made it.
We're 6 days away from the Bills, but we're 3 days away from kickoff.
Yeah, you're right. 3 days away from kickoff. Yep. All right. Yeah, we got Weston in the house. What's up, man? So, guys, so sorry. Go ahead, Mikey.
No, I was going to say, do we want to start with around the league?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, so I'm around the league. Ricky Pearsall, the first-round pick for the San Francisco 49ers. Did you see what happened to him yesterday?
No,
he went
tell
to
me.
a signing, and he got robbed. And while being robbed, he fought the guy for the gun and got shot.
Wow.
Yes.
That's not
okay.
Good.
He's already been released from the hospital, was a through and through, but was shot in the chest. Crazy.
That's not good. That's not good. But hey, luckily he survived. And but I wonder what his turnaround time is to return. Though,
he's out. He's out of. They put him on the PUP, so he's gone for 4 weeks. Or
okay.
IR. They didn't put him on the PUP. They put him on the IR.
That makes sense, man.
You know,
rough.
Yep. Jamar Chase still in street clothes.
Man,
still in street clothes.
Still
not practicing. He ain't gonna do it until they give him his money.
Damn.
I like that. He should keep doing that.
You know,
I'll give him credit.
Go back to his LSU, his final year at LSU. He didn't play,
right?
Because he wasn't willing to sacrifice it.
Hey, man. All right, let's see how long.
Sit out.
Let's see how long he sits out for. I'm curious,
right?
Because he's gonna get fined.
Yep. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on the NFI list, out 4 games.
Damn, what happened there?
I don't know. It just says it just comes across as NFI, so it's non-football related injury. Whatever happened.
Oh, not good.
Yep. Russell Wilson was named the Steelers captain.
Whoa!
Not only is he the starting quarterback, they named him a captain.
Whoa!
Okay.
Well, that is a whoa. I had to throw that out there because that is surprising. That is surprising.
I was surprised when I saw that too. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both returned to practice. They've been nursing injuries.
All right. Hey, got it. They're back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They've been nursing injuries all preseason. They're both back. And that's kind of you around the league.
All right. Thank you. Mikey. Good job. Appreciate it, Mikey, for that. We always love around the league with Mikey, man. It's always fun.
It's fun.
So let's get to some comments I'm missing here. Let's see here. So let's see here. Western Mike told me Sean was being on with the boys, so I definitely had to tune in. All right. Hey, look at that, Weston. Look at that. Weston in the house. And will the Bengals pay him? Will the Bengals? What do you think? Will they?
Let's ask Sean. Sean, will they pay Jamar Chase?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you kind of saw what they did with Brandon Ayuk. They kind of just want to give the ownership a little bit of a, hey, I'm important. You got to give me the money. And eventually these teams always end up, well, for the most part, paying their star guys. I think they would pick him over T. Higgins too, because I know he wants a deal. But at the same time, I feel like Chase has 2 years left on his deal. You're kind of going a little bit overboard on it. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to pay him because they want to win now and they'll be desperate.
Yeah. On that, he does have 2 years left on his contract. So it's not like he's going into his 5th year. So
Right.
they can play hardball with him if they choose to. And the Bengals are notoriously cheap. The only person they've paid so far is Burrow. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. To Roy's question, yes, the shooter's in custody. He actually got shot, took the gun from him, and shot the guy. And
that's crazy. That is a wild story. And
right?
Wild that he lived, because that's man.
No viable organs, no nothing, thrown through.
Right.
In the
he
chest.
got lucky. He got very lucky.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who was it? Was it Taylor, right?
Sean Taylor, got shot in the leg.
A leg of all play. Like you wouldn't think something, but it hit like an artery or something.
Yep. Hit his artery.
And that was a wrap. I mean, dang, man. So crazy, but thank God he survived, and we'll see him when he returns.
Week
I'm sure
5,
he'll
week
be back
6, something like that.
Yep.
And then Weston comes in and says Clyde Edwards-Helaire has PTSD from like a car accident or something.
Jeez. Car or shooting or something. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Raven for life. Yeah, they got him. The shooter shot himself too.
Yeah. I knew when they were fighting for the gun, the guy got shot. I knew that.
And shot himself. Good Lord. So Mikey, we have Sean on today, and we haven't really talked to Sean in a while. So Sean, I want to get your like, what's your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills offseason? Because if we haven't, like I said, I haven't talked to you. I do go on your channel here and there, but I haven't really, heard what you really want, what your thoughts of the draft, what your thought was on free agents, what your thought was on the 53. What sticks out to you the most this offseason?
Yeah, the offseason, I feel like the draft was pretty decent to really good because we hit a lot of needs that we had at certain positions. Still felt like with 10 draft picks, you probably should at least took a flyer on another receiver.
Thank you.
You would think so, but they didn't. As far as what we have going forward, it's a lot of guys that are young and have a lot of talent, but a lot of them have a lot to prove. So I think that's exciting because you don't really know what we're going to get out of this team. It could be still highest to heights, but then it could be like a regression type year. But again, we have a lot of people who I'm pretty excited to see take bigger steps. Like Kincaid has to take another step. Shakiri got to take another step. Torrance and Brown keep taking those steps forward. And, a lot of people see as a regression type year for us. But if our coaches are as good as they could be, as people say they are, and these young guys step up, then it could be an exciting year. But I just got to see it first,
So other than the receiver, the second receiver that you want in the draft, what is your biggest disappointment, I guess, in the offseason? What's your the thing that you like the most that the Buffalo Bills did?
As far as the draft goes, I did like getting Dwayne Carter. I thought he was a really, really solid third round pick and someone who can contribute significantly because, Ed Oliver's great. I like Daquan Jones a lot, but he's on the older side of 30 and hurt the last 2 years. So I want him to be in more of a backup role to step in. So I liked Carter. And then, I feel like we could have did more at linebacker, but at the same time, we weren't anticipating Milano to get hurt again. So at the end of the day, you can't help that because you just don't know. You have to. We had two young guys in Bernard and Dorian Williams, and we thought we had Milano, so we thought we were set. But can't really do anything about that. But also, Brandon B never, I feel like, makes a really big trade that puts you over the top when the season starts. So we make that little trade for the kick returner, which again, he was undrafted and the Jets were going to probably release him, it seemed, and they cut bait with them. So I know it's a 6th and a 7th round swap, but we had, Christian Benford was a 6th round pick. Dane Jackson was a 7th round pick. Matt Milano was a 5th round pick. Diggs was a 5th round pick. So all these late picks, they could be something. So at the end of the day, I was like, oh, that was a little bit weird. But you see other teams make like big in-season trades that put them over the top, and that's just something he doesn't really do. And I know we didn't really have the cap to do it, but I had a feeling like man, we got to do something different than what we've always done. We've been doing the same stuff. The same ideologies with the staff, and I know we got a lot of young guys on offense, but I was thinking about it when I was driving today. There's not one first-round pick on the O-line. There's not one first-round pick at receiver besides pass catcher and Dalton Kincaid, and no first-round running back. So it's like they always say they want to make it not just about Josh, but then it seems like they don't really do. They don't go to the nth degree to get Josh the most help that they can, but
they don't invest, right? They're not putting that assets into the offense, all the assets constantly. And this has been one of my biggest complaints over the last few years is we continue to pour money into the defense, and we're just like, well, Josh will figure it out.
Yep. It's not fair.
Thank you very much. Finally, somebody's got a brain in here. I thought I was alone.
I wanted to go back to what Sean was saying earlier about his concerns or his unknown about the Bills season this year. I'm actually really excited about it as well. And it brings me back to how I was feeling 2019, 2020 as the Bills were building. That, we, over in 21, 22, 23, we knew what the floor was for this Bills team. We knew kind of what they were. I'm excited this year because I don't know what they are. They could be really good, or they could be like, being messed up and shot himself in the foot. It could be one or the other. The year that we brought in, I think it was 19 when we made the playoffs and we brought in Brown and Beasley. I feel like that's what this year is, with Shakir and Coleman as a rookie and us running it through Kincaid. I feel like we're going to start building that next layer like we did back in 2019.
I'll say the only difference, though, from me, Mikey, and it's a good comparison for me. I see where you're going with that. But I would say the only difference is, and when those two guys came in 2019, Brown and Beasley, those were veterans. Those were guys that you knew what you were getting, right? This season, other than Dalton Kincaid, because we kind of see where we saw what he was capable of last year. On offense, we don't know yet on Keon Coleman, even though I'm high on him. We don't know yet if Curtis Samuel will fit in this offense, even though I think he will. But I'm just saying, I think it's a little bit different because John Brown was a solid receiver. He wasn't the greatest, but he was a good receiver.
He was a third option everywhere.
No, I get that.
Beasley
but
was a fourth option.
But Beasley was.
Did you really know what we were getting in 19?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a big step up for 2019.
Well,
I thought that was a
step
start
from
it
what?
Was from 2018.
Streeter and Benjamin.
Absolutely, Robert Foster. Of course, Foster? You don't think so? You don't think John Brown and Beasley was a bigger step?
That wasn't much of a.
It was a big. We made the playoff. I thought it was. We went. It was way better. But my point is, look. This season, I think, is way more questionable than in 2019 because other than Kincaid, all the rest are, listen, I like Curtis Samuel, but we don't know yet, right? They didn't have any even preseason games together, him and Josh. Not really. We can't really even count the one drive. It was nothing. So we don't know yet. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. Keon Coleman as well. We only know what we hear through practice and what we saw in clips in practice, and they look good. They look like they have the connection, but it, like you said earlier, it could be really fun and exciting and good football, or it could be meh, right? And right? Like we don't know yet. And I think a lot of Bills Mafia's concerns because we didn't really get to see much in preseason. So we'll see. I'm so confident because we got Josh Allen. No matter what, I'm confident because we got J17, but the rest of the guys, we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
That you are maybe lower on Shakir because we have Shakir and Kincaid.
No, I'm not. I forgot about him. You're right.
Basically, what Brown and Beasley were in 19.
Absolutely, and I apologize for that. I am high on Shakir. Matter of fact, I told you. I think, and I said it in the offseason that I thought Shakir was going to be our one going in. I thought Shakir is going to. I think Shakir is going to have 1,000 yards. Like I do. I think Shakir is going to take a big step forward. I'm just saying, and I do apologize. I forgot about Shakir. I shouldn't have. But I'm just saying the rest of the crew, besides Shakir and Kincaid, I'm just saying it is still, it's still up for. And not only that, listen, even though Shakir had a good second half of the season, we want to see a full season out of him. So in a way, it's still, let's see what happens with Shakir now as being that number one possibly.
Well, that's how we were going into the 19 season with Beasley and Brown. We wanted to see what it looked like as well.
Yeah.
I think the difference between the two is the defense. In 19, we had already had Poyer and Hyde and, for multiple years. You know, the defense is probably the difference. And when we look at it from that perspective.
That too. So I'm saying it a whole as well. So you're right. The defense as well is a big question mark going into the season. You know what? My if I had to say my biggest disappointment in the offseason would be is Brandon Beane didn't bring in a kicker to at least push Bass. Now I know they weren't going to cut Bass, but at least push him, right? At least put that, hey, we're gonna put put a little fire underneath him because he did terrible in preseason. In preseason, he did terrible. Or he made us feel, but he still looked bad. He looked bad in practice all year. He did miss the one in preseason, right? The long one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it was way off, by the way. So,
perfect conditions, no wind.
Perfect conditions. Yeah. And the punter as well, Sam Martin. Now, I will say this, Sam Martin, he did have a decent 2 games in preseason. I'll give him that. So I'm not super, super duper concerned. I still don't like it. I still wish they would have brought in or kept Browning, or at least brought him back to compete more with that. So our special teams is just a little, it worries me. And that's something I didn't like. And then obviously the backup quarterback situation, I appreciate that he brought in a guy in Mike White because I don't care what people say. Even when Trubisky's healthy, I still think Mike White is a better option at this point as backup.
I don't disagree with that.
What do you think, Sean, on the Mike White Trubisky front?
Yeah, I think Mike White's got a better arm. Probably a little bit better of a quarterback. I just feel like Mitch has just the experience I like better. But I think probably as an overall quarterback, Mike White's better by edges him out a little bit.
Well, here's the thing with Mike White. Mike White's not scared to throw the ball. You have to be a backup quarterback. You have to be a gunslinger. And the issue I have with Trubisky is he's a slow processor and he doesn't let it go. He holds it for too long.
I agree.
So Scott's coming in saying it might rain.
It
might rain in Buffalo on Sunday for our game. Lovely.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It's always something. By the way, Jay's here from Mafia Talk.
Guys.
What up, Jay? If you don't know Jay,
on?
Jay goes live every Wednesday at, what are you going live now? 8 o'clock now or 10? What's your official time? 8?
Like everybody guys know, is Wednesdays 8 o'clock every week. We're gonna do more clips and reels and all that good stuff coming in the future. But man, make sure you lock on Wednesdays 8 o'clock on the Mafia Sports Report YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, tune in. Mikey, Tommy got all the good stuff coming in. We got my guy Sean right here for Red, White, and Blue. I know he got big things coming around too, so make sure y'all tune in. Let's go.
Now, real quick too, Jay, are you still doing a pregame this season?
We're still up in the air. I got my guy that's supposed to go Sundays or Saturdays.
All right, guys. So
I still want to verify, but lock in on Wednesdays 8 o'clock.
I'll keep you all informed on that, man. So Jay, man, first time. I think it's the first time you coming on here. I know I went on with you on your channel one time, on your podcast one time. I believe I did a video with you or something, but
yes, sir.
I didn't really ask you too much either. What's your thoughts on the offseason in general? The draft, the free agents. What didn't you like? What you liked? And then what was your biggest surprise of the offseason?
I mean, to go with the offseason, I mean, we kind of had to take it the way it is. We are obviously, if you follow the team and you know what we're going through, we're kind of going through a rough path with the team. We had to give up, obviously, our 1 and 2 starting receivers just to make some cap space. So with that being said, we already knew we're going to kind of be in a tough season. But to be honest, middle of the offseason, I was going through it, wasn't really confident, wasn't really sure. Even till now, I'm going to be honest, I'm really not 100%. But at the end of the day, listen to you guys, listen to Tommy, Sean, Mikey, everybody. You kind of revive my confidence. At the end of the day, we do have Josh Allen, JA-17, and he's going to make it happen. And for the past couple of days, I've been watching nothing but clips, reels, highlights, and not necessarily just his highlights, but also the bad, the downfalls, the lowlights, and all the bad Josh Allen decisions he's made, and kind of lump summing everything together. Yes, I'm very confident in the team we have. Yes, we have a young team ahead of us. We have Khalil Shakir, the veteran of the receiver squad. But when you have Josh Allen, and throughout his years, when you really follow him and pay attention to him, he kind of always made the best out of his worst situations. He never really had to lock on to his best receiver. He always been one to feed everybody in the field. When you have Reggie Gilliam or your backups and everybody here, there, and there, your Tywan Jones, and when you talk about your backup players, he always fed them. He always hit them. So when you talk about a young team and can Josh Allen still hit his numbers, can the Buffalo Bills still be that team, that Super Bowl team? Are their windows still open? Very much so, because he's going to make the best opportunities out of what's presented to him. If you got to run, he's going to run. As long as this offensive line can keep a block and stay determined, dedicated, and disciplined, and maintain that line of scrimmage and give Josh Allen the time and develop the run room and the run scheme and let them guys gel. And I know I'm rambling, I'm talking right now.
No, you're good, brother. I ramble all the time.
I really believe in this Buffalo Bills group. Nobody's proven right now. But I mean, Josh Allen is, as long as the offensive line can scheme and dwell and be consistent, there's really nothing to be worried about. Keon Coleman has been showing us in these mini camps, in these training camps, and he hasn't really had much to shine in these preseason, but I feel like he's shown a little bit enough of with the time he's been given to really not be that number one receiver, but to be another dog that we can rely and consist on. That's all we really need. And we got so many dogs. Your Mac Highlands, your Khalil Shakirs, your Curtis Samuels, MVS really haven't shown nothing, but I know he can really produce. Like, I'm telling you guys, don't give up. We still have the tight end room with Dawson Knox. I know everybody's overlooking Dawson Knox with Dalton Kincaid, but Dawson Knox is still a dog. He can still produce. He can still put up those numbers. And if he can't, best believe he's going to make those plays where we need him, where we need a 3rd and 14s, where we need them 3rd and longs. We need a touchdown. When we need something, Dawson Knox can perform. So my rant is over. Best believe it's Bill. I'm telling you, this is the beginning of the season. It's Bill's Mafia. We're out here. I'm telling you, season's just going Let's go, man.
I like it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Jay's making everybody believe. Mikey,
you know what my favorite part about that, Jay, is?
Let's go.
Is everything that you just said tells me that Josh Allen doesn't have an alpha, which means he doesn't have to force the ball in one spot.
Yes.
He can just go. Yes. He can run through the play. Like I felt so many times last year, he forced it to Gabe or forced it to Diggs because he had to feed him. So
Scott,
I enjoy that.
Scott coming in with super chat. Jay, your rank is getting
always
good.
Love.
You're at the stadium doing the podcast. Let's get this 20-0 season started.
20-0. He corrected me on my last show. I said we're going 17-0.
Yeah, you made a mistake. Don't do that.
0. It was 17-0. Josh Allen and Keon, but my man Scott Blakey had to correct me. It's 20-0. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to take it. Best believe Josh Allen. Let's go, man.
Wouldn't that just be a dagger in the Dolphins' back? We go 20-0. Wouldn't we just like to dig that?
Who's above? Who's above? It's the Buffalo Bills.
Well, and you got the perfect season to be
Page. I don't know about the Page,
right? That's what I'm saying. Because they went 16 or 17-0.
Yeah,
the perfect season.
Yeah.
You know, so
Roy coming in. It's okay, Jay. It's only quiet time we get from Tommy. So I agree.
I'd hype everybody up. I'm telling you.
By the way, Rich Eisen today had Rich Eisen the show. They all had us in 3rd. To finish the season, which is it's fine.
Ship.
Yeah, we've heard this before, so no problem.
We heard it last year.
Scott,
Last year we
Tommy
were
on
supposed to be third.
Yep. Tommy on J1 podcast with the auction out of them. Oh, shut
Yeah.
up. Shut up.
We need to have
You know-
more of it. We need to have
You
Tommy,
know-
Mikey, Shaw back on the Mafia Talk. Let's
Shut up,
go.
fool.
Great content.
Yeah.
Shut up, fool.
All right, now.
Hooked up Joe in the house. Our resident
Yeah, what
Dolphins
up,
fan.
man?
So
Click that
Yeah,
like
hey,
button.
good guy. Good guy,
One
man.
thing I will
Good
say
guy.
though, if I could, not to put
Yeah,
a
go for it.
damper on that the awesome statement by Jay, but I'm just hoping, and it's probably not going to be a big deal, but from Josh Allen, that week 1 game last year, I know like Dorsey wasn't the best OC, but the game plan for the Jets was solid where you take what's underneath, you run the ball, and then you just don't make a mistake, and then you'll beat them guaranteed, basically. And then he got bored with that and just wanted to start chucking the ball. And with this new offense, what we got with all these unproven guys that, maybe not dink and dunk, but kind of like mid-range kind of offense, I'm just worried that is he going to be able to put up with that for 17 games, or is he going to be like, I just got to go back to chucking the ball downfield?
That's a fire question right there.
But
Mikey?
I don't know. It's probably not going to be like a huge deal, but I was just thinking about that earlier. I'm like,
No,
we don't have
it
the alpha
is.
guy, which is fine.
I know Mikey has an opinion. He's gearing
I do
up.
have an opinion
He's
on
gearing-
that.
Come on, let's go. Let's
Go back to
roll.
the last 7 games. Josh average target was under 5.
That's true. Yeah.
Go back to that. Go back to the KC game. He checked under. They brought him up, and then he threw over the top. The guys didn't catch it, but he still went over the top. And
Which,
with
Joe
Brady, Joe Brady has beaten his head or did whatever he had to do to get him to understand the underneath brings them up, so allows them to go deep. And over the last 7 games, you saw Josh Allen do that.
So I want to say something too regarding that. The one thing I did like this offseason, and I liked a lot of things, but the one thing I thought Bean took care of was the players he brung in as far as drop percentage goes, except for MVS. MVS is, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of him.
One. You gotta have
I
one.
do not like, but I guess apparently we have to have one terrible guy that has butterfingers. But the rest, the rest are all guys that have very low drop percentage. And also we got taller and bigger, which was a thing that we didn't really have since Josh Allen's been quarterback. It's been small guys. The biggest guy we had was Gabe Davis at 6'2". We got guys 6'4", 6'5", 6'3", 6'4",
6 foot above. Yeah.
I mean, big, and not only that, like physically big, right? And then you got our tight ends who are 6'5", 6'6". So we got bigger, and what that tells me is we're going to be more physical. We're going to run the ball more. You're going to see a lot more blocking from the receivers that we didn't really get last year either. I thought our blocking was terrible from our receivers. No effort. Diggs was bad at it.
Diggs doesn't like that bubble screen at all.
Yeah, he did not. And the only thing I will say is I hope we get our screen game going to our running back. Like we have not yet shown we're capable of doing it, which is unbelievable. So hopefully, Joe Brady can get that fixed and got it fixed, because if it does, it will work. We have the guys now that can block. Right. But if we can't, then I don't know what to tell you anymore. So we're just not good at screens apparently. So, but I think you'll see a lot more screens, wide receiver screens, running back screens this year. I think you'll see a lot of like Mikey was saying. I think Josh is going to he's going to take what the defense giving him. Yeah, Curtis Samuel for short slants. Let your receivers get yards after catch. Go ahead.
I know I said it in my show a bunch of times, but Curtis Samuel, I have high expectations for. He's going to be the Isaiah McKenzie we always wanted Isaiah McKenzie to be, where he only gave us 2 games of him going out 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, great special teams play, but he only gave us 2 games of it. I really expect Curtis Samuel to give us at least 6 games to 8 games of dominant play, just like that with him being in that slot role and that gadget player that you really can't check him, that Deebo Samuel-esque type of player.
So he'll be the him and Shakir will be the yards after catch. Receivers, okay, on this team. And you kind of saw that.
Don't sleep on Coleman's yards after catch.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying
the
main guys, it's
those
the quick slants and the quick screens, yards after catch will be Shakir and Samuel. So
Mhm.
also who's catching over the top, says Roy. Jeez.
Well,
I don't
let's
know.
look at last year.
What do you think?
Who was
Mac
catching
Hollins
him over
can
the
do
top
that.
last year? Mac Hollins can do that. MVS can do it. Keon
Yep.
Coleman can do it. Shakir could do it. Last year we had Diggs run and go routes, and we had Gabe Davis run and go routes. So it's
I
ask
think
you guys this.
yeah,
Can
go
we-
for it.
Can we take Cook out during the red zone and leave Ray Davis in there?
yes, please.
Well, I'm with you, yes.
I would think that would be the wise decision.
He
And
can-
I think
he
Cook,
can
and I
pass block,
said
he
it.
can catch, he can run.
Listen, Sean, I've been saying this, and Mikey knows this. I've been saying this since we drafted Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis is going to get a lot more carries, than most people think. I think he's going to take away a little bit from Cook, and I think, ultimately, I think Davis will be the guy to take over once Cook is out of here, because I don't think Cook
For sure.
gets past his rookie year, like a rookie contract. I'm not saying Ray Davis is his ultimate, running back, but I think he does. I think he's just as good as a pass catcher. I mean, the only thing I think he lacks is the speed, obviously, that Cook has, but I think his vision is better. I think his contact balance is better. He runs between the tackles better, and his pass protection is way better.
I mean, can
Night
I
and
ask this
day.
question? How
go
confident
ahead.
are we in James Cook this season? I mean, I don't want to make it seem like James Cook is a bum of a running back, but he did have a great second half of the season. But how confident are we in this new year, especially when we have a Ray Davis behind him and a Ty Johnson and a Frank Gore Jr.? I mean, we have a great running back room.
So here's what I think, and I'll let Mikey answer next. I think James Cook repeats what he did last year, and I think that's a good season. I don't think it's.
Okay.
I think he is definitely a 1,000-yard running back. If our offensive line run blocking can do what they did last year, I think he will get 1,000 yards again. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be right around what he got last year. Same with his receiving numbers. I don't think much has changed there.
An improvement.
Especially, I don't think he will improve though. I don't think he'll regress. I just think he'll. I think he'll stay about the same. Because I think Ray Davis will take a little bit more away. That's where I was going with this, and because of the blocking is going to get a little better. So that's why I think, even though he's getting a little bit less carries, I think he'll have better gains because of the blocking than he did last year. By the way, Roy coming in saying my expectations for Coleman aren't very high. Honestly,
We'll come back to that. Let's come back.
Yeah,
to that.
go ahead, Mikey.
Let's come back.
Go
to
ahead.
Okay.
The Cook. Here's my take on the Cook thing.
Yeah.
Cook is going to start out very much like Devin did, where when he had Frank here, and then when Cook was the backup and Devin was the starter, he's going to be the lead back for the first 4 to 6 weeks. By week 10, by 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, I bet you see more and more Ray Davis carries.
Ooh,
I don't think he will overtake him for the starting job, but I bet you will be close to 60-40 as we move forward.
Hey, we got Big Cuz in the house, by the way. Sorry, Mike.
Hey, I'm listening to y'all. You guys are wilding. Ray Davis ain't taking over for James Cook.
Nobody said
that. No, Mikey's not saying that. He's saying
no.
That
I said he's going to cut into his carries.
Oh,
which is
he's a number 2.
Yeah, which is exactly.
I think James Cook is going to get kind of what he got last year for the first 4 to 6 weeks. And then after that, you're going to see Ray Davis cut into more of those carries to keep him healthy, keep him fresher for the late season and into the playoffs. So you're going to see it closer to 60-40 later in the season than you do early in the season, where you'll probably see more.
I agree too. I agree.
Real quick from Nickel City Mafia. Do you
not believe that?
All right, go ahead.
I honestly think James Cook, the way Joe Brady wants to use him in the offense, I haven't seen enough of Ray Davis. He's just a rookie. I want to pump our brakes on that. Let's not pretend like James Cook.
I'm with you.
I just want to see a little bit more.
That. Because I'll tell you why. I'm kind of with you a little bit on that, because Zach Moss got drafted and Bills Mafia was really high on him, and turned out that Zach Moss, at least for our team, wasn't exactly what a lot of Bills Mafia thought he would take over Singletary. A lot of people did. And I wasn't one of them. I said, there's no freaking way. But I will say this, Ray Davis Like Mikey said, his number one thing too that he beats out James Cook is pass protection. James Cook is terrible at pass protection, bro. That's not going to change. As far as contact balance, not very good. And he can't run between the tackles very well either. Like once he's called up, he's called up. Ray Davis is a little bit more of a bowling ball, and I think he can get a little bit more after the first hit.
I love this conversation. I love it.
So I'm not listen. I'm not, and I think
completely disagree with that.
I'm on both sides. Go ahead, cuz.
And I don't. Yeah, I'm with Mikey. We're not saying Ray Davis is going to be the RB1 at any point of the season. I just think that he's going to cut into his carries because I think that he's going to prove that he can be a good running back for this offense. And on short yardage and on certain, in the red zone, I think they will go to him more. Plus, he's a good pass catcher as well. So it's not like having him on the field is is taking away from that.
I want to get because his finish letting him have his say on this because I don't think we have yet. But one thing that I think that goes against Cook is his inability, is his drops in big moments. He dropped 5 touchdowns last year.
I agree. I mentioned that on our show.
If he continues to do that, and he did it all through training camp, and he did it in preseason, if he continues to drop the ball, they're gonna pull him off the field. So, but I wanted to finish hearing what you were saying because you were going somewhere with this.
My thing is like I get it. I mean, I understand we like Ray Davis, but we don't know yet with him. Let's see it. I want to see it with the first string, not with the second and third string, not playing against second and third string. And on top of that, I agree with you on the James Cook. He has to not drop 5 touchdown passes this season.
Right?
Like,
wide
I
open.
Completely agree with you.
They weren't even challenged.
I do disagree with the fact that I think he can run through the tackles. I think that Dallas game.
That's a Tommy.
Dallas game showed. I mean, what he pounded the rock on the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's get to some. Yeah, go ahead.
I just. James Cook had a top 10 running back season last year.
He did,
statistic wise, with all the flaws that we just mentioned. So let's just hope you get another. I want to see another level from James Cook, and I think he could get there.
I don't think
he's the perfect.
I don't think he does.
I think he's the back that Joe Brady wants to use.
I think there's one more thing before we move on with the James Cook thing. And I think Mikey might have one more thing to say about it, but there's for me, there's a reason why he was very limited at Georgia. I don't see him as a three down back. I don't. I think he's a good running back, but I don't think anything about James Cook wows me. I just don't. I think he's a good back. I think he's 1,000-yard back, but I don't think he's dynamic. I don't think he's fully rounded as a running back. You know what I mean? He has, like Mikey said, we drafted him because we needed a pass catching running back out the backfield. And then last year, he drops a ton, right? Potential touchdowns, potential games we could have won or lost because of that. Also, the pass blocking is just it hasn't improved. It's been terrible since day one. It hasn't improved in preseason. Nothing's changed about that. So I think James Cook is who he is. I don't think you're going to see a major jump from James Cook, in my opinion. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong.
My final thought is Joe Brady is the one that uses him, not Tommy. So at the end of the day,
absolutely.
I hope
absolutely.
I hope we see that jump from him. I really do.
I just kind of want everybody not to get in love with the new toy.
Absolutely.
We did it with Devin Singletary when Frank was here. We did it with Cook when Devin was here. Now we're gonna do it with Ray when Cook's here.
But let's not pretend like Ray Davis doesn't have a little bit of a fumble issue himself.
Right?
Yeah. So he didn't fumble. He didn't fumble at all in preseason. At all.
Yeah. He did in
preseason.
Not one. Not. And I know, but not one.
In college, he did.
No,
you can say James Cook didn't fumble in the preseason.
I'm saying Ray Davis.
His first handoff, he did. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I want to get some chats, and we got some super chats we got to get to. Yeah. So, first, because I've been having this on the thing, we'll get to the super chats. Nickel City, do we need to check ourselves, guys? What would be saying about any other team that lost both their starting safeties, top linebackers, their number 1 and number 2, your center, and change of the line? It's a valid question. So, Mikey, I guess I'll start with you
Okay.
and work the way down.
Go look at what Baltimore did. Go look at what Kansas City did. The same things happened in those things, and they just reloaded. Go look at what happened in Cincinnati. They lost both of their safeties and their centers. They had their two receivers. But let's also not get it twisted that our number 2 receiver was some special guy. He had special games, and then he would disappear.
Yeah.
So, teams reload. It happens.
Sean, I'll go work around the room. Sean?
Yeah, well, I'm big on get younger. And that's like in a lot of sports that I like. I'm more of, this like Hyde was great. Poyer is awesome. But, obviously White was awesome too. But, these guys haven't played a full season together in 3 years. One of them's getting, Hyde missed all 2022 basically. White missed the last 2 years. Poyer was playing banged up. And, from the games
Milano was hurt all year last year too.
Yeah, and, the games last year when Hyde and Poyer, like that Jags game, you can say what you want about Elam, but – at the end of the day, it came down to Hyde and Poyer making mistakes, getting deep, and then Poyer hitting a guy late in the head, and then it gave up a big third, and it was like a 3rd and 20 converted into a first down. So I love the leadership, but we still got vets that got leadership on this defense, and Teron Johnson, Ed Oliver, Von Miller. I'm not worried about culture or leadership with that, and at safety position. And all positions are important, but for me, safety is the least important, and especially in our defense, out of all of the positions. Safety is really, and basically a lot of defenses, but ours specifically, it's just help. And also with the roaming safety, Poyer is probably a little bit better than Rapp, but you got to remember Rapp played the whole year with the Rams. That one year they went to the Super Bowl and won, and he was a starter. So it's inside of him to play and to be a good player. So I get it. It's more of uncomfortable. You're like, oh man, we don't have these names on our team anymore. But if McDermott is as good of a defensive coach as people say, then I'm not worried about turning over old people on the defense, whether they were good for us or not. So I'm still confident in the defense. But losing Matt Milano sucks. But now if you lost him and Bernard, then I'd be like, okay, well, that's a huge hit to your room. But
honestly, I think our biggest loss there was Mitch Morris.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and
of all the guys, I think he was our biggest loss.
I agree. And Tommy and I, we don't often agree, but one thing we both said it, separately, was what sense does it make to move a guy who had his best season as a left guard, move him to center, and instead of changing just one position out of your team, you're doing two? Because Dawkins even said himself, I never played next to the same guard my 8-year career. So They had a great chemistry together. And then you could have had an open battle between Anderson, Clapp, and Van Pran Granger. And then if Van Pran Granger beats everyone out and he has rookie struggles like everyone does, that's fine because he's going to be ready for next year, and he's got protection of the 4 people next to him that played those same positions next to each other last year prior. And, Aaron Cromer's a great O-line coach. So I just felt, why would you draft a guy like Van Pran Granger if you didn't think he could be part of your future? Harvard is still quite young, and he could be your future at left guard. So unless you plan on, because David Edwards isn't the future at all. He'll probably be gone next year or the year after at max. So if he's not the future, why are we throwing this out here? You should have been prepared. Like, he wasn't prepared for when Mitch Morse was going to leave. He knew Mitch Morse was going to be gone one day, and he's like, well, let's just wait till after he leaves to draft the next guy. And that, I just didn't like that, but
yeah, he did it with the wide receiver room too.
Coaches think their own way. So
yeah,
but they won't have that problem in the cornerback room because that's what McDermott knows. So they just draft a shit ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jay, you want to piggyback off
Mikey's?
Like
Big Cuz ready. I'm gonna pass it off to Big Cuz.
All right, Big Cuz, go for it, man. With Mike's question there, Nickel City.
I agree with Mikey. We just reload. We reload. Like last year, we played all year pretty much without Milano. Hyde missed pretty much the most of the year. We had injuries everywhere on the defense, and we still had a top 10 defense. Guys, if McDermott, if not for anything, McDermott could coach the shit out of some defense,
right?
Like, yeah. And then as far as like, I agree with the point about Mitch Morse. I think he was the most, he was the most important piece. We'll see how the line works. I think the receiver room is going to be just fine. I think we need to take into account into now Josh doesn't have to worry about having to force the ball to Stephon Diggs, or Diggs is going to get mad and cause drama. It's I think we're going to be fine, guys.
Yeah.
Like they were having these same conversations in Kansas City 2 years ago, and look where they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
And Baltimore and
I
Cincinnati.
Mhm.
Like they were all freaking out after they lost Jesse Bates and all those
And
guys.
let's not lose sight on the fact that these guys are listening to this TV media shit about Josh being overrated and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Josh is I'm pretty if he's that competitor that everybody says he is, I know he's tired of hearing of it.
Yeah. I listen, I agree too, man. I agree with all that. Me and Sean's talk about the Mitch Moore situation. Nothing we could do right now. I do think it was a mistake on Bean's fault. I think Bean made a mistake with the O-line to start with when he first came here as a GM. He didn't build it up right. He took forever to finally get it right, and when he did, now he's doing this musical chair thing again, which I hate. Musical chair on offensive line, because when you got your best offensive lineman Deion Dawkins doing an interview this season, mind you, about that he hasn't played with a left guard, it's kind of telling you something, Brandon. Like, dude, like, keep the guy that played the best since what, Mikey? Since we lost Richie Incognito?
Yep.
Is that fair to say?
Spain had a really good year. That one,
Spain, but
really
I would say Richie. But you're right. But we cut him, right?
I mean, guys, you don't think Mitch Morse would have restructured his contract to stay? Like, I don't.
He would have, but here's the deal. I didn't mind that. I didn't like. I've been saying though that I think, like, and I've been saying Mikey, like he's probably leaving soon. Like, he's going to leave soon, or he's going to retire, or they're going to get rid of him because the concussion. Like, I've been saying it for a while now. Last year he was healthy, he was fine, but I still kind of felt it was coming. Right. And the money he was getting paid, and I felt like even though he was still playing at a good level, I did see him like not as high as he once was. So he was kind of getting down there in the center range.
He's been at the Bills.
No, I don't think so. I think his first year with Josh.
We can agree to disagree.
But yeah, that's fine. But either way,
one more point though on the safety thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's not forget we did add Kansas City starting safety to the mix, Mike Edwards, and Kansas City had a top 5 defense all year.
So here's the problem with Edwards though. He's been hurt all season, all off season, and he had no reps with reps. So I think me and Mikey agree with the safety thing. I think the safety is the biggest question mark right now going into the season, because one, our rookie Bishop, who we were excited for, looks good. He got hurt early on, so he didn't really get the reps, right? And reps are very important. That's what the whole camp is all about, right? That's what training camp's about. You're getting that one-on-one with your coaches. You're getting familiar with your teammates, all that stuff. So Rapp was the only one really available. Then he had DeMar, and the DeMar got hurt, right? Everyone was like, oh, DeMar may start. Now DeMar got hurt. So it's kind of like, what are we going to get out of that safety room? Who's going to start next to Rapp? I'm guessing Edwards, but I'm a little concerned because he didn't really get any reps with Rapp. So safety, yeah, I'll agree with Mike from Nickel City. That right there is a little concerning. However, I mean, if we're going to be real, Poyer and Hyde were not healthy, and they haven't been healthy over the last 2 or 3 seasons. They've been banged up at, even when they were on the field, and they weren't at 100%. So we had to eventually move on. And Hyde might come back still. Just throwing that out there.
Hope not.
Tommy, we have a few super chats. Let's get to those.
Yeah. Let me hit the one here first with Scott.
Break the glass. Break the glass.
Scott Blake.
As always.
Thank you for the super chat. Okay, I'll be serious. J17, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 15
minimum 15 wins,
5 interceptions.
Listen, I love that you are so.
I mean, those numbers are not like crazy if you're counting like rushing and passing.
Yeah, rushing and passing. Yes, the 5 interceptions. Josh has never. I don't think Josh.
It's okay.
5 interceptions.
It's okay. Can we tally up the amount of times Josh Allen threw a pass and it tipped off somebody's hands and went in somebody else's hands?
Yeah.
Or can we count the amount of times
a ton.
Like
that our receiver didn't even try to fight for it? aka Gabe Davis's balls. Yeah.
Or Josh Allen, or this is prime, or Josh Allen doesn't have to play hero ball, where everything is on his back and he has to make a play.
Yeah.
If Josh Allen's more comfortable to make a throw, he's not going to make a stupid throw. That's just
it's 5.
What Scott just said is really not mind blowing or out of the realm of possibilities. It can.
I don't think he gets 5,000. I think he gets about 4,000.
I think
if
running and passing, maybe. But
yes.
Total yards.
Balanced. Yeah. I think we're going to be more balanced this year. I don't think we're going to throw as much.
Right. One more super chat, Nickel City Mafia. This is for my buddy Sean, who's on here with us. Get on over to Red, White, and Bills, which, yes, I told you guys from the beginning. Get on over, support his channel. Dude is my buddy, and he needs all the subscribers he can get. So go over there, subscribe to him,
Sean.
and then thank you. We made his Labor Day. His Labor Day was dull until we went live. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Let's get to some more chats before we move on. Ravens. I know running backs. I'm a Raven fan. Davis is taking Cook's job. Bank on it, says Raven for life. Tommy has good instinctions on rookies. I believe Tommy on Clay. Yes. I told you guys, listen, man. I'm telling you. Tommy from Beth, Tommy, Mikey, Big Cuz, and Jay, plus our friend from Nickel City. I picked a good night to make sure I'm here. Thank you so much, Beth, for coming on tonight. Triggs, I feel that running back will be the biggest issue in our offense. That's a hot take. I just don't trust James Cook. Triggs, I trust him. I just think Bill's Mafia has him ranked a little higher than what he
scares me.
Is
when we throw him the ball, it scares the shit out of me because I feel like, especially when he's
wide open,
he'll make the tough catches. It's the wide open ones that he struggles with. It's like he loses concentration.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Like we could dive in Scott Blakely. Who do you trust more? Dawson Knox in his time where he dropped so many passes wide open, or James Cook? Because I feel like James Cook only has a handful of wide open drops compared to Dawson Knox where he dropped a bunch of them and we still rolled from them.
I don't trust either one of them bitches with wide open.
Scott's my buddy tonight, by the way. He says, enough of the nonsense. By the way, thank you for the super chat. Enough of the nonsense. First, don't question Tommy on rookie usage.
I will question Tommy.
Right.
That is my job.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta say, I have been nailing the draft picks though over the last 2 years.
Scott. Yeah, don't skip on Mafia talk. There's some real guys right there.
Yeah, man. We gift wrap.
That one hurts me.
Absolutely, we did. That's what my point. That was
that's a good
point.
Right
I said last year.
That's a good point.
If we would have drafted
for
Boogie
Basham
and let him sit,
over
then you sit him behind Mitch Morse. Then you let Mitch.
Sean, why you gotta break someone's heart, man?
Because he's gone now. I had to throw it back out there.
We picked Shorter over a few of them.
Yeah. Shorter was a mistake, and I thought Shorter was going to do.
I thought Shorter was going to be something good.
I made a mistake.
Now he's with the Raiders practice squad. Like, come on now.
I thought Shorter was going to be good as a tight end. Where I missed.
Yeah, you know what? That's not. I don't think that's terrible. I don't think that's terrible.
No, I don't either. Actually,
I think it's a smart decision. I mean, why not?
Not like he's going to make that roster. They have Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers at tight end.
I get it, but you know what? If he's listed as a tight end now, and somebody loses their tight end, he can get picked up somewhere else.
He can come back
that
here.
He's getting.
We'll see.
You never know. I don't trust Knox. Like I said, I don't trust Knox, and he gets hurt a lot too. So
but that's why we have Zach Davidson on the practice squad.
I forgot about him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. And Zach Davidson had a good off season actually. So
real good. Spring.
Yep. Let me see if I'm missing anything else here on these chats. Yeah, I already saw that. And I've been predicting J17 will have its lowest interception percentage of his career.
Me too. I really think so. Everybody feel like he's going to have more. And I just feel like last year was his highest interception throw rate. And I feel like that was only because of his highest drop reception rate of his career. Once you tighten that up and get more consistent and more in tune with your players, I mean, that all cleans up. And especially if you have a dominant line. Now, let's say if the line isn't that good, then yeah, you can entertain that. But at the same time, I mean,
I know where Mikey's going to go.
The crazy part of
I know what you're
going to
say, Mikey. I know what you're going to say.
The crazy part of all that is I hate PFF's analysis. I like what they do.
Me too.
From a rating standpoint. Last year was his lowest turnover percentage play rate or whatever it was.
All right, yeah.
And he had the highest
turnover worthy.
Yeah, turnover worthy. So like where he actually put it in a bad spot. It was just a lot of bad luck last year.
The majority of the times, another thing is like he accounts for like 5, 6, 7 interceptions that are technically punts, whereas like 3rd and long, and he's just giving his guy an opportunity. Yes, it's an interception, but it's technically not. He's just giving this guy an opportunity, and it's technically a punt. I mean, you could go back and forth for it, but is that really an interception? I mean,
it goes down as an interception. Is it a bad play? That's the question.
Exactly. Okay. You better say it. Yes.
I think his interceptions was high, and Mikey, I think, agrees with me on this as well. Is because it really, I mean, 2 things, but one, Gabe Davis. I think him and Gabe Davis were so off, like just not on the right page, which was so weird because they never had the issue the year before. And all of a sudden, Gabe going one way, and Josh is thinking this way, and then even if you saw Gabe on the sideline, right, like complain, like whoa, like it was just like they were just not. And you would think Gabe Davis, and I don't know if that was because Gabe Davis on a contract year, and he was just trying to do. I have no idea, but he didn't. I thought he was going to get 1,000 yards because his contract year he's going to try to ball out, and him and Josh just were not. And then I got to also say Diggs forcing it, Diggs constantly, right? And Diggs not really sometimes giving up on plays, not like same with Gabe Davis, not fighting for the ball or just stopping on a play, letting the ball get intercepted. That there is like effort, right? And the effort wasn't there. The effort, I felt like the effort is even Diggs, listen, I love what Diggs did here, 1,000 yards every season, but I thought last year, I really believe this because I felt like his love for the team was gone. I think his love for football is still there. Yeah. I think he was still going to perform. He's going to go out there. But I felt like he was so nonchalant. When he dropped passes, you didn't see like I just didn't see it. Even the one in the playoff game, he's just like, ugh. Like, I mean, it's like, dude, you just dropped a potential game-winning touchdown. Like, you were like nonchalant about it.
To get out of here.
I think he was ready to go. Yeah, and he was just out there to, hey, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to go out there. But I don't feel like the love was there anymore. So I don't think the passion was there as much as it was from 2020 to 2022. Like, I think the passion was there, and then it left. And it is what it is. And I think you're going to get new passion from Keon Coleman, who's going to want to prove like, hey, the Bills made the right decision, right? You're going to get that from Curtis Samuel, who's saying, hey, I've been playing with shit quarterbacks since, and I'm better than what you all think I am. And I think you're going to see that from Curtis Samuel. I think Khalil Shakir has something to prove too. Like, hey, I could be that guy. So there's a lot of guys that have something to prove on this team. And I think Dalton Kincaid too, one as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Matt Collins.
Matt Collins.
If you go back I like Matt Collins. 2 or 3 years ago, he actually when he got some run when he was with the Raiders, he actually produced. And then they just stopped using him.
He played decent in Philly too.
Yeah.
When they used him.
Yeah.
You know what I like most? Yeah, I agree.
But he's all hustle and heart.
He is. The thing I will say, I would pump the brakes a little bit on what his overall number, what he's going to do on offense. But I will say this: I do like
he
the
ain't
guy.
Giving up on a play.
I think the guy's effort's going to be there, and I think he's a great for the locker room guy. He's great for morale, all that shit. Like, he is the guy that I think a lot of teammates are going to go to when maybe things aren't going well. Like, that's the guy on the offense for me.
Do you think he can put up Gabe, like at least match Gabe Davis's numbers?
I don't know if he'll have as high. I think he'll be more consistent than Gabe was. I don't know if he'll have those super big 200-yard games that Gabe.
Oh no, I'm just talking about like the season, like the season numbers.
I don't know if he'll have as many catches, but I could see him coming. I can see him sitting between 500 and 700 yards.
Matt Collins?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Watch how much Mac. Watch how much Mac actually is out there.
I had 600. I had 600 in my head, so that was right. That's
watch how much Mac's out there.
I'll have to see it. I don't think so. I don't.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think we'll know more.
I'm about to say, Sean, man, I haven't heard much from you, man.
Guy's been on a team 1 year throughout. Like every team, he's been on one season and he's gone. I mean, there has to be a reason for that. If he's that, it can produce 700 yards. I mean, dude, why isn't he staying on? I'd be locking him up if I was a team. Why is he bouncing around the league? Like, I'm just throwing that out there. I like the guy. I think, like I said, I think the guy brings positive vibes to the locker room. I think he's going to be good special teams. I think he's going to make some plays here and there.
A leader.
Like, I think I even think he's going to make some plays. I think he's going to have some big plays in Buffalo. Maybe a big catch, a bomb pass. He's tall. He's a decent speed, but I don't think he's going to be consistently where at the end of the season, dude had 657. I just don't see it.
I don't know.
I hope I'm wrong.
I said between 5 and 7.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, I just don't even see that.
Well,
I think if I had to be fair on the numbers, which is still not bad, between 300 and 400, and I think that's fair. I do, because you got to imagine Kincaid, Shakir, Keon Coleman, right?
See, I think you were putting too much on Coleman early.
Dawson Knox.
Coleman's
I'm just throwing.
early.
I think he will be. I think that Joe. I think you didn't see much from Keon Coleman because he was having a shit show at quarterback in preseason. I think Keon Coleman will be used early. I think he has to be. I think he's our most one of our sure-handed receivers. Yeah, we will. We would definitely find out. But I don't think Mac Hollins gets more play time, more snap count than Keon Coleman.
That would be more than you think he gets.
I also you guys got to understand that Josh Allen's throwing him the ball. When he was
absolutely.
He had 57 receptions for 690 yards in Las Vegas 2 years ago. Who was their quarterback?
Come on now.
Carr.
Yeah, right. Talk
exactly. My point. I'm just saying.
Who else was on the squad?
It's a possibility. I'm just saying. Who's our wide receivers right now? We don't.
And you also want to see how much of a leader Mac Hollins has become.
I mean, we're all hoping Shakir is going to be great.
Right.
We're all hoping that Coleman does something. This is the beauty about this season, guys. We're not going into the season, oh, this is the Super Bowl, and we don't know. This is going to be a different kind of ride this year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm
back to that 2019 year where we were just getting on the ride.
Yeah. And I'm a fence sitter with Hollins because I think he could do it, but like Tommy was saying, we don't know what the pecking order is really going to be yet until a few games come in, because we can't discount the 2 running backs out of the backfield, the 2 tight ends, and then we got 5 receivers. So I think Hollins again has the ability, because we've seen it, to produce in the league, but we don't know how Brady is going to utilize. But he is a talented player, and I can also agree with Mikey where I can see 500 to 700 too as well, especially if Coleman maybe takes a couple weeks to get acclimated. But that's the beauty of it. Like Big Cuz was saying too, we got a lot of guys that have a lot to prove, and I think I don't take that for granted with people, because I think when you got a lot to prove, you really you can really show who you are and you make a name for yourself. So I'm excited for that. It's a little nerve-wracking too, because I don't like being based on hope. I like kind of guarantees. Like
we got spoiled the last 4 years.
But go back to what the question was. The question wasn't, is he going to do it? Is, can he do it?
Yeah.
That's the question Cuz asked.
Yeah. That's
can he replace what Gabe Davis had? Yeah, could he? Yes. He's shown it in this league before.
I think he could definitely do it in the run blocking game.
Will he?
Easily,
I don't know. That goes back to what Tommy was talking about and about the pecking order. But could he? Yes.
Did Davis ever get more than 40 catches though? I don't think he even Davis put up some yards, but I don't even think he eclipsed 40.
He always had 60 or 70.
Yeah, but he had back to back over 800. I think 850 yards. I don't see
such
that
long touchdowns.
Yeah, the thing. A couple of years, his first 2 years, he had 35 catches each year, and I can't remember. He may have got 50 something last year, but it just didn't seem like it. So, but yeah, I could definitely see. I think Hollins can
his
do
career
that.
high with us was 48.
Oh my God!
I was about to say, because when
he had 93 targets and 48 catches.
Yep, 48 catches, 836
That is a horrible
yards.
catch rate.
Yeah, it's not good.
That was
you go with multiple games with 0 receptions, 0 targets. I mean,
last year.
So you asked, can he replace Davis? He had 35 for 599, 35 for 549, 48 for 836, 45 for 746. Could he? Yes, he could.
I actually see him getting that touchdown more than the yards. The touchdown numbers, because he's a big, tall target in the red zone.
And he had a lot of really long ones.
Yeah. I guess I gotta see it. I gotta see it with Josh. I mean, we'll see. maybe you're right. Maybe Mac Hollins shines on this roster. But I just, with everyone else on this team, I don't know. You know what? I will say this with Joe Brady's offense.
Yeah, I can see him having a Shakir type of year where he gets 50 targets and he catches 35 and he has, 490, 500 and something, in like 5 touchdowns.
I would be good at 400, 450. Maybe
good about 450,
I could see that.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The only reason maybe you're right on that is because Joe Brady, the way he's building the offense, it seems like everyone's going to have their
roles.
Everyone's going to have their time to shine, right?
Yep.
So every game, you never know who's going to be that guy. Everyone's going to eat, right? So if that's the case, if that's really where we're going with this offense, where he's saying that we don't have a true number one, everyone's going to be involved, and you don't know week to week who's going to be that guy, then it's very possible. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Because for me, it all boils down to Josh Allen, his comfort, like who he's comfortable the most throwing the ball to. Because Josh Allen does have a thing, bro. Like he needs to have that connection. And if he doesn't really have it, he won't throw it much to you. And if you've seen that with a few guys that came in, he didn't really throw the ball much often to those guys. Like he kind of was hesitant on certain guys because he just wasn't either familiar or they weren't on the same page or going the wrong way. So he was kept. That's why I kind of felt like last year in the beginning, he was kind of forcing it to the guys he trusted the most in the years past, which was Gabe and Stephon, right? And Dalton Kincaid, it kind of took a minute. And also because of our, I understand the coordinator wasn't really getting the greatest route tree, but it took a while. And once Dawson got hurt, then it was kind of like, okay, they kind of started getting that more connection because now he's the guy, right? Dawson's not in there. So I just feel like Josh is a chemistry guy, and you got to have that connection with him.
You also have to take into account, just 1 second. You also have to take into account the scheme.
Yeah,
Dorsey didn't scheme. Brady schemes. So he's gonna have route trees and schemes, guys running clearing routes to get the guy underneath open. That's all gonna be part of this thing now for Josh that he hasn't had since Daboll left.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm glad you even said that because honestly, I do miss Brian Daboll at times because he's the one that kind of put the trick plays and gave the offense a little bit of flow and made us unpredictable. I'm gonna just wrap it around that. I feel like once we went to Ken Dorsey, and I'm not gonna blame Joe Brady because he just kind of went the flow with it, but especially with Ken Dorsey, we was very predictable in our schemes. I really felt like it's just, Josh Allen's in the huddle, like, Diggs, you go that way, Kincaid, you go this way, you go that way, and I'm gonna hit you when you get open. And if you're not open, keep running. I'm gonna make time and I'm gonna hit you.
It was choice routes, and we had everything was a choice. And if the quarterback and the receiver aren't looking at it the same way, you go back and look at Josh and Gabe. It doesn't work.
So coming into this year, my biggest worry, yes, I'm excited. I'm ready. We have Josh, and he has a young group that's are full of energy and excited and ready to ball out. But when it comes to those clutch times in the fourth quarter, or we need them third down plays, when Josh Allen gets, and I've been watching other highlights, and I know he hits people that he is comfortable with. Who is he going to be comfortable with this year? I know we got a lot of big dogs, we got a lot of big guys, fast guys, big guys, this and that, third. But who is he going to be reliant on? Who is he going to be comfortable with? Who is going to be consistent for Josh Allen?
Go back to the last 7 games.
Yeah,
it's
Shakir
and Kincaid.
Yeah.
And on third down, last year over the last 7 games, when he needed a big play, he didn't go to Diggs. He went to Shakir or Kincaid.
Right.
Look at
now, can Shakir be that guy? Can Shakir be that guy?
He can be. I will say this. I think he can be. I really do. I think he was underrated coming out of college in a way. I think we got him as a steal. I really do. He's that guy runs a 4.3. He's faster than what people think. People don't realize when that dude catches the ball, yards after catch is there. That dude is striding.
I don't know if it's because he has little legs, so it doesn't look like he's going very fast. He always gets the corner.
He passes that dude. And he's sure-handed, bro. He is sure-handed as you can get for the most part. I don't see him dropping a lot of passes. And like I said last year, man, Diggs had 10 drops. The year before he had 8. Unacceptable. Gabe Davis had a shit ton. We were top 5. I think we were 3rd in drop percentage last year.
So
I
if
think
you
we were
look,
top
you look
5
at
year before. Terrible.
Kincaid and Shakir last year, their drop or their catch rates were high 80, low 90s.
Yes.
It's crazy. When he threw it to them, they caught it.
They caught it. Exactly.
Yes.
And that's what you want. So, but yeah, if you look at the playoffs, when things weren't going right, or when Allen was needing somebody to come up big, it was Shakir. It wasn't Diggs. You know, he gave Diggs opportunity, dropped the ball.
Right.
Just throwing that out there. So why do you think in the end zone? And I'll even throw this out there. Diggs was wide open at the end of the game, and he still went the opposite way. He should have went to Diggs. But I get it. But in a way, Allen was going with the guy he trusted the most at that particular time.
The guy
he was going
also
to the
was
guy.
open.
I
Chris
see where
was
you're
open,
going.
and he should have hit him.
That.
It was a great defensive play. But my point is, I think his mind was set on the guy who was doing the most in that game, who the guy was coming up consistent.
You're honest, Scott.
I still like the choice though, because you need touchdowns to beat Kansas City. So
absolutely, that's what I
was fine with it.
I love the risk.
I said the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
No, let's call a punt play for DeMar, fake punt for DeMar Hamlin.
On your own side rather than giving.
I'm still upset about that.
McDermott should have never let Buffalo that.
Oh, dude, I'll never let that go. I'll never let that
or
go. The whole ending.
We have 12 men on,
Listen,
make a wish play.
McDermott shouldn't have been.
We can't our offensive coordinator because our special teams coach.
We got
guys.
lucky. Yeah,
McDermott shouldn't have been allowed to travel back to Buffalo from Kansas City after that 13-7 game. He should have had to get his own damn plane home.
Yeah, that was another disaster. No, trust me, we've had a lot of McDermott talk on here. We're gonna wait.
I'm gonna end it right here with McDermott talk. I swear to God, if either we miss the playoffs or we win the Super Bowl, McDermott gotta go. Either way.
I hate to tell you this, Pagula's not getting rid of him.
No, he's not.
Unfortunately,
no, he'll be there. He'll be there opening day of the new stadium.
Even if Brandon Bean wants to get rid of him, Pagula
it
won't
wouldn't happen.
Yep. We're an hour and 15, so I want to get into two things.
Great show.
I'm going to get into, guys.
Right?
Like, share, subscribe. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. So we're going to get into two things tonight, guys. We're going to quick run through this. Biggest question, by the way, shout out to Bill's Wire for creating this article. So they got biggest questions about the Bills defense. We'll start with the defense first in 2024. So the biggest questions. First one they got is life without Milano. And I'll start with you, Mikey. Life without Milano. Biggest question.
Been done before.
That's exactly it. What's new?
Right.
Go back and look at Milano's injury history. This isn't just the last 2 years thing. We've missed Milano. He's missed a ton of time, and we've worked around it. Now, has it been good linebacker play? No. I think we're better situated this year than we were last year to miss Milano.
Right.
Yep. Sean?
Life without Milano was very, very sad and horrible for me because he's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he's one of mine too.
I should have started with that. You're right, Sean. It's sad.
It really sucks. But yeah, you can't replace his abilities and physicality and the energy he brings on the field. He might not be a vocal guy, but he's a linebacker through and through. But again, the good part about having a defensive-minded head coach is you know how to work around missing key players. And we've unfortunately had to deal with it multiple times for multiple years in a row. It really sucks. But again, nobody that is going to step in for him is going to produce at his level. But I'm confident that with the people around him, like Bernard and Oliver and Von Miller and Teron Johnson and Rasul Douglas, and even Taylor Rapp as a vocal kind of leader, that whoever steps in will be fine. Again, we have to have the expectation of they're not going to be better than Milano, of course, but as much as it sucks, I'm confident that we can manage.
Can they be better than AJ Klein?
Oh, 100%.
That's where the bar is at, honestly.
Absolutely.
Can they be better than AJ Klein was?
Yes.
100%.
Yep. Jay, thoughts about it. Life without Milano.
Life without Milano. We was able to slide last year with Terrell Bernard. That was a big question mark and a big what if. But we was fortunate enough for Terrell Bernard to step up in his first year starting, and become the quarterback of the defense. And he Can we say dominant? I believe he was dominant enough. He was. He didn't skip a beat. Obviously, you're gonna miss Milano, but Bernard was the next best thing. Can we do it again? That is an even bigger question mark. We have Dorian Williams, we have Balin Spector, we have Javon Solomon.
Ugh.
We got a bunch
Don't
of guys.
say that name around me.
He calls him BS.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Don't call
his
BS's name around me.
So sorry. So sorry.
I agree with you,
learned his
Tommy.
name yet.
I agree
Who's
with
the
you
other
on
guy?
that, Tommy.
Okay, I'm gonna
Thank
tell you,
you.
Buffalo
It's
Joe.
BS.
I'm gonna replace a Buffalo Joe.
There you go. There
There
you
you
go.
go. There
I'll
you
give
go.
a Buffalo Joe.
There you go.
Let's go.
Eddie,
But
Eddie,
can-
you.
My two guys was Buffalo Joe, Dorian Williams. I'm a big advocate for. Can those two guys be the next Terrell Bernard? Because we can't have a next Matt Milano. Can they be the next Terrell Bernard where they can step in and be that starter where we really need them? Next man up mentality. I don't have an answer for you guys. Let's just fucking believe and let's go for this ride and wish for the best thing. Just like my man Sean said it. Let's just hope that everybody around them can perform good enough where we don't miss a beat on anything. Everybody's gonna perform, everybody's gonna play and have great plays, and we're not really. I mean, it's gonna be tough to say we're not gonna miss Milano, but that's the idea.
All right, real quick before we move on to Big Cuz, we got 1,100 people in here right now watching.
Yeah, let's go.
Subscribe to Mafia Sports Report. Hit that like button. Also, Red, White, and Bills. Go over to his YouTube. Subscribe, man. Show him some love. But yeah, man, 1,100 of y'all, man. So thank you all. Once again, thank you guys for joining us live tonight. Big Cuz, thoughts on Milano?
Okay.
Life without
Like,
Milano.
I agree with Sean too, as far as like we've seen it, and Mikey, you as well. We've seen it. But I'm gonna answer it a little bit differently. Life without Matt Milano is gonna be just fine if we get back Von Miller. Because for me, Von Miller is gonna be the difference between an elite defense for us or a good defense. If we can get Von Miller back, now I'm not saying like I'm not being silly and thinking he's going to get back to Von Miller like we know him, but if we can get Von Miller to get us 7 to 8, maybe 9 sacks this year, that man, it's gonna the pass rush takes care of everything else. So that I already know what we're gonna get without Milano because I've seen it. But I think I genuinely, truly think the X factor on our defense is going to be: do we get a healthy Von Miller?
I actually love that. That's a great point.
Honestly,
That is really.
Do we get Groot to take that next
that
step?
too? Yeah, I think those two.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
those
turn
two
into that sack monster we've been waiting for him to be.
Yes.
Because
Getting
if Vaughn could get us between 6 and 9, and Groot jumps his and gets double digits, that's just as good as Vaughn going back and be that defensive player of the year, Vaughn.
Because honestly, I think well, you know what you're going to get from Ebenezer, some inconsistent play, but he's going to have those games where he dominates.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Robert Wilson coming in, watching last half of last year, explains this year. Josh and Brady had this year set up. The coaching staff understands Shakir was a better pass catcher with Shakir. So he's basically saying the second half of last year when Joe Brady took over, they were kind of gearing up to what you kind of potentially are going to see, for this upcoming season. Because even Brandon Beane said it in his the season-ending press conference that he had was, hey, look, I trust Joe Brady. And this is before this is why I knew Joe Brady was coming back for sure, because he was like, wait till you see when Joe Brady. I mean, he's pretty much just saying Joe Brady's coming back, but he's like, Joe Brady didn't get. He basically was saying he was working under somebody's playbook, right? And he was
also
doing
with someone else's staff.
Yeah,
Joe Brady brought in his own staff. He brought in Ronald Curry, who he was with at the Saints.
Yeah, I totally agree. So like Joe Brady now basically was saying he's going to have a whole offseason to get his own playbook together, get his own coaching staff together, like Mikey was saying, like build this how you want it, not how we just kind of, unfortunately, threw you in the fire there, and you had to kind of work with what you got. And I thought he still did a good job. But it wasn't, and I also felt like the guys that we brung in were guys that Joe Brady also wanted to come in. A guy like Curtis Samuel, who he worked with before, right? Keon Coleman.
Under Brady. He wanted Brady.
Exactly. So he wanted Keon Coleman, a bigger receiver for Josh, and Josh wanted that. Josh also said, "I want Keon Coleman coming out of the draft because why? He never had a big target like that." So like Joe Brady and him, I really feel like are really communicating well. Him and Josh, like They're on the same page. He understands what Josh wants to do with this offense. He's also letting Josh take more responsibility with the offense, calling his own plays potentially, right? Which I believe he will this year. He'll audible a lot more. So this is all a big step for Josh Allen as well in his career because he never really had that. Like I felt like Brian Daboll, like he wasn't around long enough where Josh was comfortable enough where he go up the line, calls his own plays at times. He just wasn't there yet.
I don't think Daboll was ever going to release that anyways. He seems
he
like
may not. You're right.
One of those guys who
right.
he has a
it's
play.
My way.
His play.
Right. Yeah, right. And Ken Dorsey, I felt like was just. I didn't think Ken Dorsey was.
He was
terrible.
in over his head.
I think he was over his head, and I think he wanted to make Stephon happy as well. And I think
Joe Brady had to deal with a disgruntled Stephon Diggs all year.
Yeah, but he didn't care. But he also didn't.
Yeah,
care.
that's the worst part. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. He doesn't have to deal with that this year too. Like,
just remember, Joe Brady knew how to deal with that because he had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Terrence Marshall at LSU. So he knew how to deal with that type of stuff.
But I don't know if those guys were divas like Diggs.
I'm gonna say Bernard.
Really, Jamar Chase still hasn't dressed, right? For practice?
No, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He deserves
Mike,
to
you
get
agree
paid.
on that one? Bernard, I think Bernard on this point.
Oh, Bernard on the best rushing linebacker? Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys agree with that or no?
Yeah, in the league.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
No, on our team. On our team.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Let's get to the next one. So we're not like way behind. Who plays the most snaps at safety next to Taylor Rapp? It's a good question. Mikey,
over the whole season?
That's what it says.
Whole season.
I think it's gonna be Bishop when it's all said and done.
Really?
I think it's gonna start Edwards.
Wow.
And Bishop's going to be worked in. I think Bishop's going to end up getting because I think Bishop's going to be used as that Jordan Poyer nickel linebacker at first, and then he's going to ultimately take over the role from Mike Edwards later in the season. Just my 2 cents.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Bishop too, not just because I think he's got a lot of great talent, but if we really want to be out with the old, in with the new, and let the future start playing. This is a perfect year to do that. We still want to compete, obviously, but we're in the retooling process where you want to get your future for the reps. Mike Edwards is, again, not in the future, and I feel like players like that, they're just, kind of like bridges, temporarily, or just, veteran presence. Because Mike Edwards, he might be a little bit better as of right now than Bishop, but at the end of the day, the future success is Cole Bishop, and it's more important to get him out there and get the reps. But I get in maybe the first couple weeks, it might be Mike Edwards because, he has more experience and they might trust him a little bit more. But I agree, you got to get Bishop out there.
Real quick, Beth coming in. Everyone is sleeping on Shakir. People forgot who he trained with this offseason. Come on, Tommy, say who my favorite player, my favorite Buffalo Bills player of all time, Eric Moulds, the best wide receiver in Buffalo Bills history. I know a lot of y'all think Andre Reed, but even me and Mikey kind of agree on this one. Eric Moulds, numbers-wise, who he had as quarterback, unbelievable.
I was going to argue the Andre Reed point until you made that point.
He would have been let me tell you. I feel like
you would have put
he's a Hall of Fame player if he was somewhere else.
With that Jim Kelly offense.
Oh, man. Geez.
Yeah, dude, he was sick.
Andre Reed has the numbers. Eric Moulds' skill set.
Well, you think about it, guys. That one year we had Bledsoe, that 1 year, him and Peerless Price, they went for 1,000 yards and 100
He got Peerless Price paid.
Yeah, Peerless Price needs to be sending Drew Bledsoe some money or something.
You want to hear a crazy stat, and I've said this a million times. Mikey knows the stat. That's the last time we've ever had 2 1,000-yard receivers.
I believe it. That's a crazy stat, but I believe it.
Until this year.
I hope so, but it's been since 2002, guys.
Yeah,
and you want to hear another crazy stat? That year, not only did we have 2 1,000-yard receivers, we also had almost a 1,500-yard running back.
Yeah,
Travis Enter. Like that was a sick offense. Josh Reed had 500 yards.
Yeah,
like that was a good offense.
Yeah,
dude, it was a sick offense. If we can get Dak on a play from 2 receivers and a running back with this team, oh my god, dude, that. That's what I want again. Like that's what I want, and we're capable of it.
That's what we were hoping from
the quarterback. Yeah. We had an old 1 year, like Drew Bledsoe was on his that was his last leg. Like he was on his last, like that was it for him, right?
Yeah.
Like
Hey, Tommy,
yeah, go ahead.
hit Scott Blakely's comment here. How many field goals will Bass miss? Over
Oh,
under
come on.
5?
Why are we talking about this?
Oh no.
I don't think.
under.
I don't listen.
I'm gonna
I
say
don't
under.
think Tyler. I don't think we
No.
end the season with Tyler Bass as our kicker. I'm calling that right now.
Goodness, jeez, what? Are you
I don't see it.
We're talking about it on our show.
Whoa,
Hot
hot
take.
take.
You ain't say that on our show. God,
Oh, I was saving that. I should have saved that for Wednesday.
Sean, what's your over under?
Yeah, I'm gonna say under. I know it's not popular right now, but I really
Under 5 over 17 games?
Yep, I think he'll probably miss. He'll probably miss
Is
5.
it because Josh is always getting us down into the red zone, so the chip shot?
Right.
Hopefully.
20 he's great at
Hopefully,
25-yard field goals. You can
Yeah, I
kick
just
those
think-
all day.
Kick like any special kicking, holding, long snapping. All football is technical and very detailed, but with those positions, especially kicking, it's basically all up in your mind. So if he gets out there and just starts making kicks, whether they're important, coming down to the wire or we're up by 30, whatever, I just think he'll get back to himself because we've seen, he's never had like a 90%, make rate.
No, 88
But,
is highest.
But
Yeah.
but we know he's got the leg. We know he's for the most part accurate. But I think last year it was just his mind. It really got a hold of him, and then it just ate up on him, into the off season. But I got a feeling that once it starts and the lights come back on, I think he's gonna bounce back. And
It's a
I think
super
it could be his
Sonic
best-
Bass-O-Matic.
it'll be
He
his
does
best
not.
year.
Okay,
That's
I'm gonna say over,
Yeah.
but I think he's our kicker all year. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, how many field goals does he really get?
It's like 30, like maybe 20, 25 to 30 something.
Can I just say my thought process on that?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
McDermott doesn't have any more scapegoat, guys. He fired the offensive coordinator. He fired the defensive coordinator. We got a new special
He's not a
teams
special teams
coordinator.
coach. No, we don't.
No,
It's the same
special
one.
teams
Is
same.
it? Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
same.
Fair
Same.
enough.
He still has
terrible.
one.
There's
He's terrible.
there's no other scapegoat. So
He has
If-
one.
if,
The special teams
if
coordinator.
Tyler Bass misses a couple field goals early in the season, and God forbid he misses one that costs us a game, I'm just
That's
saying.
on the coach, yeah.
So here's my no, it's not on the coach. Listen, coach. Listen,
yeah,
I
it
don't
has to be. You gotta
no.
make the ball.
I don't like our special teams coach. Mikey knows that.
No, I don't like. I
But
thought we
he's
fired
not
him,
out there.
honestly.
But at the same time, he is not out there kicking the ball. Like
Yeah.
this is that is your responsibility to kick a field goal. There's like then if you're not comfortable with Sam Martin holding it, whatever, then you need to get with Sam Martin and start whatever the hell's going on.
Right.
Figure it out. That's one. Two, we can't cut him because we're gonna owe him like something crazy if we cut him. Like we're gonna be
$7
leaning
million.
I
up.
didn't say we
Yeah,
were
$7 million.
getting
That's one. Two, I will say this though. If he does miss 45 yards like consistently throughout the year, the start of the year, I could definitely see us going for it more on fourth down, depending on the
Yeah.
yardage on those because what's the point? If you're missing it, you're getting the fucking ball at the 45 or wherever we're
think
kicking
it'll
it.
be-
You know,
I
agree.
But Bass is our because what we'll do with Bass if we get through this season is we'll do what we did with Trey. We'll cut him with a post June 1, spread out the money, and be fine.
yeah.
After
It's
this
just
year.
you know what.
But this
You know
year
what, too?
he's our kicker, guys. It
He's
is
our
what
guy.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They didn't even bring anybody in to even.
Oh, I hope I hope I'm wrong completely.
I hope so too, because
I
we've going.
hope I'm
There's going to be games where we're going to have a game-winning field goal. I mean, it's just
Yes.
the way
Yeah.
it works in the NFL.
We have a couple
But
of them.
I can tell you this too: the preseason, his demeanor, his body language is terrible.
shaky.
He looks like a guy that is just not like wanting to be there. Like he is uncomfortable. He just does not look. He's kind of to the side by himself. Like if you look at like his first couple years, he was like happy, smiling, like
That's a matter.
bro. He looks
That's
like
mad.
he's just like something is wrong. And they say that with kickers, it's very like when it's psychological. It gets in your like your head that you're missing. Like, dude, like he's just not confident right now.
Look
He's
at what
not.
happened with Hauschka. Hauschka
Yeah.
was money, and he missed
And
a
then
few.
Right.
and
he
lost
got that.
it.
He got
Got
that
that
late
hit.
hit, and after
Yeah.
that, he was never the same.
Robert,
I want you to hit Robert's question here. Robert,
This
he
one?
says,
Yes,
I
Louis
feel
Bean.
Seen and Bishop will be the future safeties.
Yes,
I mean,
I like Scene. He's a good
I
pickup.
don't. I
a lot.
just my thing is with Bishop is I feel like with this team and McDermott, he doesn't trust his rookies. So it's really hard for me to really believe in Bishop, especially after this injury.
Benford
And
played.
the way
He doesn't trust
He
his
had
high
to.
draft
He had to.
picks.
He had
Only
to.
because he have to. He only
trusts
trusts
the
the
later
rookies
ones
unless
better.
he has to. So that's why I come to. It's not because of Bishop's play. Is that he's coming off an injury and he's a rookie. So it really is hard for me to feel that he's going to take over. I, for one, am getting tired of the fucking DeMar slander. Like, let's not forget this man took over and held it down for the season that Micah Hyde was out. I'm not gonna say he filled in the shoes, but we can't say that he didn't hold it down and wasn't
he got used.
He got
He got
cooked.
used.
Not
He
that
got
bad.
used.
Not
Not
with
that
those.
bad.
But
We
he got
could
used
have
with
done a lot worse. We could have done a lot worse.
Johnson next to him. He
Yeah,
also
it
got
wasn't
used
all
We're
with.
talking about
No, I
big
get
games
it.
against big time receivers.
But
I'm
look,
not talking about he carried.
He's not the guy.
He's not bad.
Look,
He's not. A
I'm gonna
starter.
tell you.
He's a
if that's the
rotational.
case, I
He's
still
a
got my
depth
chips on
guy.
DeMar.
Yeah, he's a
I put my
depth
hearts
guy.
up for DeMar. I'm gonna put my.
I
hearts
love
up.
DeMar.
I love DeMar.
But he's a depth guy.
I just out of
He's just not a
everybody,
starter.
Mike Edwards is still coming off his hamstring injury. Cole Bishop is a rookie. He's coming off
Then
an
give
injury.
me Cam
And
Lewis.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the next best thing.
Absolutely.
That's
But
really,
guys,
we got the
can
new
we-
guy we signed. He's the new guy. Don't know the system, so it's really up to DeMar. He's been here for years. He played here for a year as a starter. So I mean, it's
And
DeMar's
Cam Lewis has
job.
been here longer than DeMar.
Yeah,
So at the end
you're
of the
right,
day,
you're
if
right,
we're gonna
you're
do
right.
it, give me Cam.
Can we all
Okay.
agree that if DeMar Hamlin didn't almost die on the field 2 years ago, he still
Okay,
wouldn't be, he wouldn't be
yes.
on this team right now?
No,
I agree with that too.
I think he's
Yeah.
still on the team. I just think he's a special.
I
teams
agree with
guy.
that.
I don't.
I hate to
think
say
he's
it,
off
I
the
He's still
agree.
on his rookie contract, guys. We're not cutting.
I
rookie
agree. I
contracts.
agree with that. But I know I'm with you in a way, Mikey. But I also to say this, I'm kind of leaning towards
You've
big cut
been
statement
that
there.
way since it happened, though.
But listen, no, it's not that. Like I was excited for DeMar Hamlin coming out of Pitt. I like what I saw in preseason, his first year. Like I thought he had potential, but when I saw him play, when he got his start, like when he got to get in there, I thought he made a lot of mistakes. Now, mind you, he was young. I get that too. And then he had obviously the unfortunate thing that happened to him. That was terrible. Nobody was rooting more for DeMar than Bills Mafia. Of course, I wanted DeMar to come back. I didn't think he'd be
DeMar
back
wasn't
last year,
ass.
but
when he was
I
out
know.
there,
Right.
did he get cooked? Yes, but he wasn't bad. He
No,
was.
but I mean,
he's
Insane,
a
but I'm not
decent backup.
saying. Listen, I get it, but I just don't. I thought I don't know.
Who would have made it over him last year that we cut?
We had nobody.
Okay,
Yeah.
who would make it over him this year?
But here's
that-
the thing. But
I
here's
think
the
Cam
thing,
Lewis
though.
is a better option. I
But
think
here-
Cam's better.
Here's the
We'll
thing,
see.
though.
He's
I
on the
agree.
team.
I agree with that, but then that gets to the point. Well, if he didn't almost die, maybe he's not on the team, and then they go replace him because he's not there.
I think by
Yeah.
PR. Yeah, I think he's right. I think by PR thing though, they could.
Yeah.
It
They
would be
couldn't cut
disaster.
him. They couldn't.
I-
Yeah,
I
it
think-
would-
I
it
think
would
he's
look
here
so bad
regardless.
for the Bills.
Well, it
Bean
could
doesn't
be like
give up
this,
on his
though,
draft
too.
picks, guys.
No, I know. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying. I really don't think he'd be on
For a
the
couple
team.
years, he might. He got rid of Boogie Basham. He got rid of Justin
He said
Shorter
it
second
too.
year.
And
He
Kyer,
gets rid of some.
Boogie
Kyer's still
Basham
on the
was
team, but they
useless,
have
though.
Kyer's
There was
still
Yeah.
on the team,
he
but-
brought nothing to the team.
Yeah.
Like I said,
It
I
could-
like
it could be
DeMar,
this,
but
though, with
I
DeMar. If
don't see him as a starter.
if
He's
Right.
not a
if he
starter. I
if
never
he
said
never
he was a
got-
starter. I'm just saying he would make the team.
if he has to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
for 1 or 2 games, I'm okay with that. I can deal with
Yeah.
it. But if he's our 17 game starter, we're in trouble.
I would just say
Yeah,
you could look at it from the angle of
Exactly.
if
Come
he
on,
never
my
got
man.
hurt.
Daniel.
By now he could have been, he would have been for 3 years straight playing, would have learned more and more and more, and then he'd have to go through a extensive recovery process of dealing with cardiac arrest.
Maybe.
So, and
Maybe.
I'm with Tommy. I'm with Mikey and Jay. I didn't think he was great, but the dude had 80 tackles in like 15 games. So he was around the football. He was a hard hitter, and he might have got beaten coverage a little bit, but so did Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. So I would have been fine with seeing how he developed. I'm not saying he's not the greatest, especially now, but the dude's a fighter and he can hit, and that's
He's also good on special teams. And he
No, he is
he'll
good.
make
He-
very
I thought
good
he-
special
yeah.
teams.
But
I thought
I
he
think
did
he
play
could've done a
well.
little
I
bit.
will give him that. I thought last year he provided more on special teams than anything. I thought he did a really good job last year. He was on the ball,
Big
hit
run.
hard. I'll give him that. Let's move forward because we're getting late. So,
Yep.
And the next thing is Taylor Rapp. So now, that's about Taylor. So now there's saying, hey, what about Taylor Rapp? Is he?
Taylor
Because
Rapp
that
will
is
be
a
our
quite
starter.
like
we signed him to a 3-year deal.
He's a knucklehead.
We can get out after I think year 2, but he's gonna be the starter. McDermott. He spent all last year as a rotational package guy. He's going to be the starter over there. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like him or not, he's going to be out there.
I don't think he ends the season as a starter, though. I only because I think we end the season going into the playoffs with Micah Hyde back there.
Oh, so you think it's going to be Bishop and Hyde?
I think Micah Hyde wants to come back. I just don't think he wants to deal with the training camp
and the beginning of the season.
At the beginning of the season, November comes. If we're struggling at all, I'm telling you guys, he's going to end the season. We're going to go in the playoffs with Micah Hyde as a starter safety.
I think we're going in the playoffs with Micah Hyde as a starter if he comes back either way, whether it's next to Rapp or whoever.
I think it eventually.
Because here's the thing: where we're going to play Bishop. Bishop will be playing in Micah's spot. We're not going to just bench Rapp and move Bishop over. That's not going to happen.
Doesn't Bishop play strong?
No, he plays free.
He can play both, but
yeah, I mean, in this system,
that's where he's been working. Is at free.
And our system, though, they're interchangeable. How many times did you see Jordan Poyer and
you can you really see McDermott pulling Rapp off the field to move a rookie?
I can see Taylor Rapp going to play the dime linebacker.
Okay, he'll move back to that spot that he's going to start at.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Who's going to start opposite of Hyde? Do you think it's going to be Edwards?
I think it's going to be Bishop, man. I think Bishop would have been I think Bishop would have been the starter if he didn't get hurt.
But he's going to go into that free spot.
I think he could. I don't know.
Listen, man. Here's my deal with Rapp.
I really do.
My only problem with Rapp is, and I think Rapp can play the position. I think he can play it well. He's shown it. I just think at times he's a little bit over aggressive, and sometimes he overplays. Yeah, and he hit a little friendly fire. He also has a bit of injury. Yeah, bit of injury history with us so far early on.
Mm-hmm.
So will Rapp even make it through a whole season without missing games? Is the question. Another question we all haven't really even said.
Because he's so physical.
He's so physical that it leads to him getting banged up and missing games. So that is the question. So you may see Bishop out there because Rapp may be out of the game at some point.
You may see Lewis Cine out there too.
And Cine too. So
it could be Mike Edwards and Micah Hyde too.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see with that. Are we done with that? Anybody any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to touch real briefly on Micah Hyde.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole thing is like Bills Mafia, let's not get overzealous and overhyped up on Micah Hyde eventually getting on the team. Let's not forget that this man went through neck surgery and had 2 infusions during the season. He one bad hit from being completely paralyzed. I don't believe he's willing to take that risk. I mean, yes, if the team really needs him and he feels like he's healthy enough and in physical shape enough to play in the NFL again, then yeah, we might pick him up. But let's not get locked in like, oh, he's going to be our playoff safety. We might not. He might not come retired. Back. He might be retired.
Yeah. Hope that we don't need to bring him back. Let's hope.
Yeah,
hopefully we'll be consistent. Hopefully that. But I just kind of want to die down the whole Micah Hyde talk. We still got Micah Hyde. He still had neck surgery.
He's in the
still had 2
infusions. I'm totally with Jay on that one.
Yeah,
I'm totally with you.
Listen,
I would not.
Call.
Yeah. No, I know.
At the end of the day, it's his call.
And I trust Micah Hyde's decision 100%.
I'd love to have him around the team though to mentor some of these young safeties.
Exactly. Yes.
100%.
Yeah, but he's not going to come on to mentor anybody. Like if he's going to. Yeah, if he's gonna come on, he's gonna come on and play.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
I wish.
I get it. I get that, but here's the deal, man. He'll do it. Yeah, but
every
he would have done that. Yeah, he would have exactly. Maybe
I don't think he wanted to do that this summer because I don't think he wanted to get that itch to play.
Exactly,
that's
Mikey.
True too.
Exactly.
I think he wanted to stay away because he wants to see if retirement's right for him right now.
Right,
he's getting that feel.
And at the end of the day. I don't think he's not the difference of us winning the Super Bowl or being a better team.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't
retired.
No, I don't think
unless we have 3 or 4 safeties that are hurt, and then sure, bring them in, but let him retire. Let him enjoy his family.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Pulling Micah Hyde off the couch than AJ Klein.
True.
Let's get to the next. By the way, 1,200 watching right now. So thank you.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, subscribe.
Next one. Here we go. It's a good one. Is Vaughn back? Mikey, is Vaughn back?
What Vaughn are we talking about? Are we talking about the Vaughn that got hurt? I think he's closer to that Vaughn than his All-Pro Defensive Player of the Year Vaughn. The Vaughn that we had had 9 sacks in 11 games. I think that version of Vaughn is back. I don't know if he'll ever be the Vaughn he was when he was the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm guessing he's going to get anywhere between 8 and 11 sacks.
Oh, hey, my brother. Let's go.
Oh, he's saying Von Miller is cooked.
Okay.
I agree with
hit him with the okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, let me hit you with an okay because that's what I want to do. Here we go.
Like that. Hold on, I like that. There you go, Tommy.
Okay.
I like that,
I
Tom.
like that.
Yeah.
Feel the way you feel. You know, I don't think Vaughn is cooked at all.
All right, Sean, Von Miller.
Is Von Miller back? He's
Von
back
Miller
on the
back.
team. He's back on the team, on the roster, yeah. But until he proves otherwise, he's got to show it first before I can. I don't care what he did in camp or anything. Once he gets on the field and can, he doesn't have to get 10 sacks, but be around the ball, be an enforcer, get pressures, make tackles, set the edge. When you give me, 5-6 weeks in the first beginning of the season and, be consistent, then I'll say you're back as being a force of a player. But as of right now, he's just back on the roster. He hasn't earned any credit back for me yet. He's got to show it.
Ooh, man. All right.
Whoa. Well, he can. I'm not saying he can't, but I got to see it first.
Absolutely. All right. Jay, is Vaughn back?
Listen, I kind of hear everything that Sean just said, and he's very much right because when he first was with us, he performed, he made plays, he shut drives down when we needed him to shut down, and then after the injury, he just was a blur. So for us to say, is he back? It's really just up in the air. We don't know. We're going based off what the players are saying in training camp. Oh, Von Miller's back. He looks like himself.
Not just training camp. Go back and watch that Kansas City game.
Yeah, towards the
Von
end
Miller
of the season,
was creating pressures. He didn't get any tackles or any sacks, but he was around the quarterback.
He looked a lot better.
What we need.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Ryan,
when he says,
yeah, go ahead.
So pretty much just wrap it up. When you say he's back, I don't know. Do I want him to be back? Yes, but if I just need you on third down to make third down stops, that's all I need. I don't need you to be a 50% snap type of player. I don't need you to be on the field every damn down. We just need you towards the late of the game and make that final snack to shut a drive down. If you can do that, I'm happy. So I'll just wrap it up.
Hefe. Mario Williams was not a shell of himself. Mario Williams was a stud.
No, he was a beast. He was a beast when
once Rex Ryan showed up and tried to move him to outside linebacker and told him to drop into coverage. That wasn't a Mario Williams issue. That was a Bills defensive scheme issue.
Absolutely. Mario Williams was a bad man.
I'll give you that. I'll give you the Sean Merriman thing. But Mario Williams lived up to every bit of that contract.
Absolutely. He was a bad man, dude. Like that dude was legit.
You're right, my bad.
I agree.
I
agree with you, Mikey. I agree with you with the Von thing. I think if he's back to the Von Miller that we know on our team, and that's all. Like if we get that from him, like I said earlier, we are an elite defense.
Mm-hmm.
Roy saying, other than Tom Brady, has any 35-year-old or older made a Pro Bowl?
Okay, Scott.
Not that Pro Bowl means anything.
Probably
Vaughn will not be old Vaughn, in my opinion.
That goes back to what Vaughn are we talking about? Is it the Vaughn that we had or the Vaughn that was pre-Bills?
Right,
because we're not getting the Broncos Vaughn. Could we get the Vaughn we had pre-ACL? Yes.
Right.
That's where I agree with Mikey. I think we can get that Vaughn back, and I feel like everything I've seen in practice. And of course, Sean's right. You got to listen.
Got to do it in the game.
Got to bring it during the season because practice to me means nothing. I like that. Obviously you want to hear good things, but you got to show it out when the lights hit on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. But that being said, he looks like he's bending better.
That pays a trip.
Yeah, Deion Dawkins has said it. That he looks like the old Vaughn. So those are all good comments. Von better.
Yeah, let's we don't have to put that one up.
please,
We're good.
please.
No, it's fine. I
Okay.
read it. All right, next one. What's the next one? The cornerback rotation. Mikey, cornerback
What about it?
rotation.
What about it?
There is that.
I like our cornerback rotation. We have our 2 starters, or
Mhm.
our 3 starters, because can't leave out Tron, who's the best nickel in the league.
Mhm.
And I like what I saw from Elam and Jamarcus Ingram over the training camp and in the preseason games. I think we're fine.
Okay.
I
Sean?
think Jamil Adai
we're
has
good?
done a wonderful job bringing Elam's
Absolutely.
game up.
Oh, by the way, y'all see the U over the weekend? Oh,
We're not talking about you.
Oh,
down over
yeah,
there.
baby.
Pipe down over there.
Sorry, all y'all Gators
Sean,
fans out there.
Florida
What's
hasn't
your
been
take
Florida
on
in a
our
long time.
secondary?
Yeah,
You told me off the U.
No, it's all right.
Ah,
Yeah, I love the corner room. Like you said, the highlight is Taron Johnson and Douglas. Still, even though he's older and won't be part of our future in the next couple of years, he's still playing at a high level. Benford, I think Benford's good. I'm not as high as most people are on Benford. I think he's very, been very good for us. But I still think, as far as physicality, potential, athleticism, I'm a big Elam guy over Benford. It might not be this year, but I think, if it depends what we do with Douglas, I could see Elam and Benford being that tandem in the future. But again, I'm very comfortable if one of them unfortunately has to go down for plays or a game, Elam could step in, and I'm not worried at all. And then, like you said, Jamarcus Ingram, he's played some games for us before, and he's proven himself and earned a spot on the team. So I have full confidence in that room for sure.
All right, Jay.
Hitting Hefe's comment.
Yeah.
He says Elam's best game was against Kenny Pickett. That's not true. His best game was against Patrick Mahomes
It was
in Kansas City.
Yeah,
but it's also a very different scheme and different coaching that helps bring guys along. So,
Jay,
right, Jay.
Corners.
I'm okay with our cornerback room. Obviously, it could be a lot better, but I mean, we're dealing with what we got to deal with the turnover we have. I personally believe that is the best room we have on our defense. So we're gonna let it rock. Yeah, we got Douglas, a proven veteran. He stepped in the second half of the season and was our leading interception provider, however you want to say it. So it's in the second half of the season compared to the entire season. So that has something to say for. Christian Benford has been a dog since we drafted him. Took a 6th-round draft pick, took over a 1st-round draft pick position, and been riding with it ever since. Taron Johnson, best slot receiver in the league. I don't care. Bring me whoever you want to bring me. We can talk about it. And Kyrie Elam is on the rise. So still got big hopes for him. Hopefully he can prove himself more and remain on the team. And I'm confident in our cornerback room because that's pretty much our best room in the defense. So I'll leave it at that.
All
where
right.
do you think we could upgrade? Because you said you think it could be better.
I mean, we could be better everywhere. I mean, we can always have a better player.
CB4, CB3. I mean,
we can have a better CB1, but I mean, with the money and we just can't. I mean, I was thinking Justin Simmons.
Better CB1. Wow. Okay.
It's just with what we have.
Like, what are you looking for? Sauce.
Well, like I said, I would love to have somebody better. It's just what we can offer and what we can bring into the system. That's all.
I think
can't
Jay,
bring nobody better right now.
Yeah, I think I understand where Jay's coming from in a way. I think Rasul Douglas is a man.
Right,
I love him. We needed him last year.
R1. I think Benford's R1.
I do, but I don't listen. I like Benford, but my problem.
I keep Douglas
because
of his experience.
No, Rasul Douglas this year will be R1. But my problem with Benford is he can't stay healthy, and Mikey knows this.
Yeah,
Benford does not complete a full season. He's constantly getting banged up, missing games, and that's just bad luck. I get that. But I think Christian Benford has taken a step every single season and it's gotten better and better and better. And I think the coaching staff sees that. And maybe Mikey's right. He might be the number one, but I don't think he's a dynamic one. And I think when Rasul Douglas' contract ends, I do think the Bills will need to go ahead and draft themselves a solid number one. I'm talking about a top tier corner, or at least sign one in the offseason.
Oh, it's going to break your heart. It's going to break your heart. It's going to be
saying, then you would have. I hope
it's
not.
It's gonna break your heart.
Listen, it won't break my heart because if Elam improves that much, then I'm fucking happy. Hey, breaking my heart. then
Okay.
I'm like, okay,
Like if
I
you're
still got his
expecting-
jersey.
saves
He
us
better
money.
he better step
I'm
up.
just saying, if
Saves
you're
us
expecting
money
us to
and
go out
drafting-
and get a true CB1.
If
Guess
he's
what?
not, if
we
Elam is
paid
not,
Tron Johnson as our CB1.
yeah, but Tron's
A slot.
A slot.
a slot.
You don't
Slot
want
We're
him
corner.
paying
to
him
be
our
CB1. You don't
CB1
want
money.
him to
I
be.
get that, but you know this is a defensive team, so you know if they're going to spend money, it's going to be on the
Oh,
defensive
yeah.
side of the
Right.
ball.
It's going to be
And
in
you
the
know in the
trenches,
draft-
not in the back.
No, I'm
end.
just saying it don't. But they
you're right.
they drafted
You're right,
they drafted Kyrie Elam first round.
Drafted. Yeah.
I just said, but I said draft. I could see them drafting a corner in the future if to be that guy again, because they did it with Elam. They thought they had it with Elam, and maybe they still do. But I'm just saying, I do see Rasul Douglas working out for another year and being on his way. There's a reason why the contract extension wasn't very long. Like I think they see him as a short
It was just a
term,
1 year, and they just upped his money.
a short term
We'll
guy.
deal with it
and-
next year, apparently.
Yeah, and he's aging. It's not like Rasul Douglas, by the way, is super young or anything like where we're like, hey, damn, we're fucking up here. Like Rasul Douglas is getting to the age, and I think they have to factor that in.
Because they have
about
been
the
on a
corner?
downfall, but go ahead.
Yeah, that
No,
4th
no,
and
but I
18
get
Hefe is a scheme issue, not a personnel issue.
Soft ass defense we play.
I think we are good. I think we're good at the corner spot. My only concern is like obviously, we're good. If Douglas goes down, you got Elam to replace. We're in trouble if Teron Johnson goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's Cam Lewis.
That's my biggest
Yeah,
worry
that's
of
a
the
problem.
corner room. I'm fine if one of our outside corners are down for a game or two, but if we lose Teron Johnson, that's where I think the defense is in trouble.
But his track history doesn't
And
show a lot of injuries.
No,
Messes
it
up our
doesn't. It
defensive
doesn't.
scheme.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, he is the most important corner in our scheme, I think.
Oh,
He
absolutely. By far. There's no question
Probably
about
player
that.
because he is the soul of our defense. Because the only reason why we run the defense we run that nickel because of Teron Johnson. If it wasn't for the player Teron Johnson is, we wouldn't necessarily be running a nickel. We'll run your standard 5-3 or however defense majority of the league runs. But because we run nickel so much, is because the Bills defense trusts Ron Johnson so much to be that hybrid linebacker / cornerback. He can fill in. He could be both players. So,
Yep.
Losing
Yeah.
Toronto be like losing Milano.
Yeah,
No,
and
it'd be huge.
Yeah.
It would be
It would be
Devastating.
devastating. It would be
devastating.
It changes our entire defense.
Last one on the
Yeah.
defense, so we can wrap this up on, and we got to do offense. Babbage calling plays. Mikey,
Love it.
Babbage calling plays.
Love it.
Okay, love it. All right. So, Sean, Babbage calling plays.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Again, I love the guy. Just again, got to see when it comes to game time, but I'm excited and hopeful for him. But I think it could be really good, a nice breath of fresh air. But again, let's see it for a few weeks, and then I can judge better.
All right, Jay, Babbage
I'm
calling
not.
plays.
I'm not 100% sold, but I will be if he can make better play calls in playoff situations in the fourth quarter. That is it. I'll put it past him.
No
Will
more,
McDermott
no
take
more
the keys
soft
away?
zone
Will McDermott take the
third and
keys
12.
away?
Babbage.
That was
Babbage
my-
is driving.
Will McDermott take the keys away, though?
That was
That's
my-
the problem.
that was my thought process on
Because he
it.
did it. He did it to a seasoned
Frazier.
veteran. Yeah, and Leslie Frazier. Now you got
You
a
only
young
gotta
Bobby
bring his
Babbage.
ear and come over here and come.
I would cut that microphone right off. I can't hear him. What? I
Yeah,
gotta call this
yeah.
defensive.
He's up top. Sorry, we're having.
I
we're
can't-
having,
What? What did he say?
We're having issues. Tech issues. Sorry.
Cuz, what do you think, Babbage?
I'm with you, Tommy. Like, I would like to let Hope McDermott just gives him Bobby Babbage a leash to just get into a groove. This is a new thing for him too, calling plays. He's let him develop his groove, let him figure out what he likes, what he doesn't like, what's working, what's not working. I just really hope that McDermott, like you said, Tommy, does he take the keys away from him?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I like about and why I said I love it. Bobby Badger
I
has
love
been
it too, by the way.
groomed for this by his dad, who was
Yeah,
a defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
right.
he's been brought up learning how to do all these things.
Yeah.
So
I'm with
that's
my,
what-
yeah.
just like Shanahan and all those guys that grew up in the film room, I'm excited to see a defensive side of that with
Me
Bobby
too.
Babbage.
Absolutely.
Of course, we would get the young defensive side of coordinator.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why
I mean,
can't
no,
we get that young upstart offensive coordinator?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Joe Brady's not an old guy.
no, Joe
No.
Brady's young. Joe
Well,
Brady's kind of young. I like listen, man. I'm with Mikey. The only thing like I said is my concern is when a big moment happens, a big game, playoff start, will he take the keys away on critical situations, even on big plays, on games that are tight? Will he take over? That's my only issue with it, because in a way, too, if he does that, I kind of feel like that takes a little confidence away from Babbage, right? Oh man, like now, like, oh, okay, I can't, in critical situation, he doesn't trust me. So like he needs to trust Babbage and let him do his defensive job, right?
If
Coordinator.
he does that crap, Babbage will leave like the rest of them have.
And I wouldn't blame him. Bills fan coming in. I don't like double duty from McDermott. I said the same thing.
That's what I'm excited about too. McDermott back to just focusing on one
being
thing.
the head coach. I was mad concerned last year, guys. I did a video on it actually saying,
and
can
we
he
talked
juggle
about this
both?
at nauseum. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Defensively, yes. From a head coach standpoint, no. He failed numerous times from a game day production.
Yes, I think it took away from really it hurt the offense a lot too, in my opinion, because he didn't see the big picture. He didn't want to answer like he just didn't want to see the reality of what was going on the team. And the team was clearly not themselves, especially on offense, because he was handling the defensive side way too much, and that falls on because he was doing two things at once. And not only that, I feel like McDermott still has a lot to prove as the head coach, in my opinion. And then like all this on his plate, like it was just too much for him. Anyways, let's get to the offense so we can get out of here. We're going to speed rush this, guys. So let's kind of speed rush this.
I'm going to 2 hours.
All right. Has Josh Allen fixed the turnover problem?
It's not a problem.
Mikey, I'll start with Mikey.
I'm with Jay. I didn't think he had a problem.
Okay, well, I mean, they're saying it, so I gotta say it. So
I'm gonna say no because he didn't have a problem.
Okay, Sean. I think Sean's gonna. We'll see what Sean says. Sean's a little
different.
on this.
I agree. I agree and disagree at the same time. I think it's not a problem because he could throw up 40 plus touchdowns every year. So the turnovers aren't as significant as some people make them out to be, for sure. But fixing the turnover problem by having less than 20 turnovers next year, I think he'll fix that. I think part of it is Joe Brady putting him in the best position to succeed. And then I think Josh finally understands, like, hey, you don't got to find a 70-point play in one throw. Take what the defense gives you. You're a great quarterback. Make good decisions. And I think, like Mike from Nickel City Mafia was saying earlier, it'll be his least interception rate year of his career. And I think it'll be a good season for him.
I love that.
Jay.
Yeah, it's not a problem because Josh Allen puts up more touchdowns than he has interceptions. You're gonna have a game like last year in a season opener when he throws 3 interceptions and throws 1 touchdown. But you're willing to have a game like that where you're gonna have other games where he throws like 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns, 1, 2, throws 3. Like it's a give and take. Yes, Josh Allen's gonna throw interceptions, but he's gonna throw more touchdowns. He's gonna score more than he throws. So it is what it is. I mean, I believe he's gonna have a career low in interceptions, but if he throws interceptions, I'm not upset because I know the next drive he's going to make up for it. He's going to score. So it's not a turnover problem. It's just he throws the ball so much, it happens.
It's a risk reward.
FA says he'll have as many or more tip balls. Or
I cannot see
worry
him
about
more
your
than
own
18. I just can't see that.
Yeah,
man. What about you, Big Cuz?
Yeah, I think he fixes it this year. I just think, like we said earlier, Gabe Davis, how many Josh interceptions go off of Gabe's hands?
6.
Right.
How many
that were to Gabe that he didn't try for?
How many interceptions did Josh have trying to force the ball to Stephon Diggs? I think that in itself cleans up the interception problem. I think Josh is just going to be just fine.
Yep.
And those
agree,
punt
man.
ones that you were talking about, Jay, I think now that we have the Keon Coleman's and the tall guys, I think they go up and knock them down so they're not interceptions.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And Keon already proved that in the preseason. There was an all-MAC interception.
Yeah, there was one. He did that. Yeah.
Defense and he smacked it down. So
like even MVS, who doesn't have the best hands, always gets his hands in there and knocks the ball away.
Dan saying he needs more time in the pocket.
I disagree.
I have to.
I think he needs to learn to stay in the pocket a little bit longer.
I agree with that, Mikey.
I mean, I love Josh, and I like that he likes to get out, but I think how bad our offensive line was always put in his head that he's got to be on the move, and he leaves the pocket early at times.
Yeah. Another reason why he leaves the pocket early too is the receivers aren't getting open, so he has to leave to make another play. And I'm a big. We're off topic. I'll be quick, Tommy. I promise. I'm a big O-line guy. I study it. That's what I do my film breakdowns on. And even counting the sacks that Josh counted against himself, the O-line gave up the least amount of sacks. So they only gave up 12, not counting the ones Josh ran into or held the ball too long for. So they gave up 12, and he was one of the least touched quarterbacks in the league. Not counting
let me ask you this:
him maneuvering.
How many did he save them on?
I don't know, but he did account for more than they did. I think he got sacked 28 times, and the offensive line only got credited with 12. It's like an oxymoron where, he runs into a lot of sacks, but then, he may be able to get out of them. But PFF accounts, as far as the analytics go, they account for what is the quarterback or the running back and what's the offensive line. But at the end of the day,
because pressure rate was like he was one of the highest, but the pressure into sack rate, he was one of the lowest.
Yeah, see, I see it different, man. I thought last year in the first half, or at least with Ken Dorsey, I thought they were forcing Josh to stay in the pocket, and I felt like that was creating way more sacks than he should have had because he was like stepping up.
Also, turnovers
sacks, like
early because
I agree,
he wouldn't run.
That's what I'm saying. Or he was hesitant on runs when he finally would. It's like he was double guessing himself. Like, should I not? And he never had that issue from the last season or season before that. So I kind of felt like they were trying to like mold him into something that he isn't. Like listen, Josh Allen is not a pure pocket passer. He is a two-dimensional. He can do everything. He's a playmaker, right? And you got to stop. When they took that away from him, I felt like, or at least we're like telling him, Josh, we need you here. We need you to stay here. We need to stay. I kind of felt like it was in his head to stay in the pocket, and he stayed too long. And he held, and maybe that is on him a little bit, but that's not his game. It's not what he does. For me, he's more of I'm going to make something happen. I'm going to get out of here if I feel like the pressure's on. And that's what made Josh really great. And in the first half, you saw that was not working out. And then once Joe Brady took over and said, Josh, and even McDermott, I think, had a presser. He was like, listen, he pretty much said, I just got to let Josh fucking be Josh now. Like, I can't keep, like,
that was one of Brady's things. He's like, can I unleash the guy? And they did.
Right. And you saw that, by the way, first game, Joe Brady took over. Allen, I think it was the first play, he takes off running. Took off running. Very first play. So.
One last thing for the O-line. They were sixth in pass block win rate, too. So that's not counting, like, Josh maneuvering or evading pressure. They're winning, that's a really, and they were seventh in run block win rate. So they were very good last year. And again, it may look like Josh is running for his life, but he's doing it purposely because he might see something downfield. Like, I can't just sit here because they're not going to get open. If I run around, it's going to move the linebackers. It's going to move the safety's eyes. It's going to do this. And
I agree with that.
So I think he just does that because
he's buying time. He's buying time for guys to get open.
Yeah.
So I totally
I get the point though that he was making. Like, it looks like he's running for his life, and sometimes he is because you can't win every. You can't.
And
a lot of that also. The O-line gets the bad dings, but it falls on the receivers not getting open, so there's no quick open get the ball out of his hands quicker. You saw that when we went from Dorsey to Brady, how much faster Josh got the ball out because they gave him easy button throws that he didn't have in the old offense.
Yeah. And they like other guys get more involved. That, you know what, too? I have to say, too, I felt bad for Joe Brady as well for, like, guys. When he took over last year, like Ken Dorsey, the one thing I feel like he failed in, and I've said it a million times, is he didn't understand players' strengths and weaknesses. Right? So the new guys that he knew Stephon Diggs, right? He knew Stephon Diggs. He knew Gabe Davis. I don't feel like he ever worked on anyone else besides those two, and that's why nobody else got involved. He didn't know what Trent Sherfield's strengths were. He had Hardy.
We had a speed guy that we never used.
Exactly.
Hardy. Yeah.
That's my point. So, like,
there was zero motion in our offense.
He constantly with
Dorsey.
That's my point. That's my point, Mikey. I feel like if Joe Brady had that offense last year to start with. Let's say if that was let's say Dorsey was never around, it was Brady's offense to work with. I felt like we would have been better on offense. Totally. I think those guys would have had better numbers offensively. I felt like they got hosed because they just never got to showcase what their strengths were, why they were brought to the team. But it is what it is. Now Joe Brady
definitely going to find out this year. We're definitely
absolutely. Now, if it doesn't, then it is what it is. We'll have to reset and figure that out. But
Dan with a hot take.
Yeah. Let's see.
Wow.
We'll be lucky to win 8 games.
Irvin gets fired. Belichick comes in, and we win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
I love it.
Take.
I love it.
Hot take.
We wouldn't be mad though. We wouldn't be mad.
Listen, give me a Super Bowl. I don't give a shit how it happens.
Right.
Well, I don't know about that. I brought up a scenario.
No, don't say it. Don't say it.
I brought up a scenario where
don't say it, cuz.
Don't give me no doomsday scenario.
Okay,
Scenario.
So let's not say you want to Super Bowl no matter what.
Don't put that out in the ether.
I'm just saying TB12 is training.
Josh was down. They bring in TB12 and we win a Super Bowl.
My God.
Would you take it? You said you take it anyway.
Would I take?
Of course I would.
I'd be sad for Josh, but would I take a Super Bowl? Yes.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Tom Brady, $50 million.
Let's go to the next.
Be the quarterback coach.
I will have mixed emotions on my inside for how much disdain I have for that man. How he ruined my 20s.
Could you
30s?
imagine the parade and that cocky son of a bitch saying, "I've owned you for 20 years"?
So I came out of you.
I owed you guys one. Could you imagine?
How can you bring so much misery?
We will never buy a drink in Buffalo ever again.
No, that's not going to happen.
Misery and torture throughout all these
but let's not talk about that. Josh is going to be healthy.
Yeah.
He's going to bring us a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. Will Keon Coleman live up to the hype? Mikey, Keon Coleman live up to the hype.
What hype? Are we talking about like the way they were talking about him
Receiver
before? All
pro?
Yeah.
Hype.
Listen, this year, no. Keon Coleman's going to be a rookie. He's going to get some yards. Does he have the talent to be a wide receiver 1? Yes. It's all about how he grows.
Absolutely.
Is he going to be that way this year? No.
Sean, what do you think? Keon Coleman live up to the hype?
Yeah, I agree with what Mikey said. In the future, 100%. But I guess the hype would be different for everyone. So my hype for him is 30 to 40 catches, 500 yards, 5-6 touchdowns. I can see that happening, but some people got him even higher than that. And I think as far as expectation goes, probably not, depending on certain ones, but he could surprise people. Jay?
As far as wide receiver 1 height, no, he won't. But definitely, F.A., you're bugging out, dude. No, you're talking about some Steelers receiver. He's talking about the Steelers receiver. That's what he's talking about. But no, as far as Keon Coleman, I believe he will be a solid rookie coming into this year. He's going to put up numbers. Definitely, I wouldn't say 1,000-yard receiver, but definitely 600 to 800 yards. He's going to be real good on contested and catch in traffic situations.
So he's going to be Gabe Davis.
Exactly. Yes. Most for sure. Yes.
Year 1 is going to be Gabe Davis. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But definitely a lot better. So wide receiver 1, no, but definitely a good weapon. Yes.
All right. Because what you think, man?
I say no. And that's just me because I just didn't like Coleman at Florida State. So I wasn't big on him at Florida State. But I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Listen, coming from
the Hurricane
I'll tell you.
fan.
Yeah, I'll tell you also. My issue with Coleman coming out, because I didn't want us to draft him, was I didn't think he'd be able to get separation.
That's why.
I will tell you, I've seen the videos and stuff. He's gotten better, but he's also CeeDee Lamb's cousin, and that's who he works out with. So you're going to see him get better.
Yeah. I think Jay said it best. He's going to get 6 to 8. I see him around 6. I said it in the beginning. Then I went a little higher, but
I'll be there in a minute.
What did I say, Mikey, in the beginning? I think I said 5 to 7, and then I changed it from 6 to 8. I'm still around there, maybe 6 to 700, which is fine. I think that's fine. I don't think he's going to have this monster rookie year. but I think he's going to be a red zone threat. I think he's going to have
Yeah.
a good amount of touchdowns. But we'll see. Once again, I think it just all depends on how him and Josh connect. If him and Josh connect early and they're having a chemistry early on, sky's the limit for this kid. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the separation thing, man, I've been watching this guy on film. I've been watching the college. I did the video on him saying the Bills should draft him. I don't think there's a problem there. I don't. I think he's gotten better at it, in fact. And I think he's faster than what people think. I think he's physical. And I think he wants to prove people wrong in a way, too. Like, I think he is one of the better receivers in this draft. I do. Now, will year one prove that? No. Because I think there's a lot of guys on this team that are veterans. I think Khalil Shakir is a guy that Josh might trust a little bit more early on. Same with Dalton Kincaid going into the second year. Curtis Samuel, who's a veteran. So that's why I think it's going to kind of take away a little bit of Keon Coleman's rookie year. But I think his second and third year, you're going to start seeing Keon Coleman shine a little bit more. The game's going to slow down more as well for Keon Coleman, like stuff like that. But I don't think year one will be like where we're sitting back and we're going to say, damn, this dude got 1,000 yards. Like, I don't see that. But can it happen? Who knows?
Sure.
With Josh Allen, sure, anything can happen. It just depends on that connection early on. And that's it for that. So,
Hey,
Mikey,
Roman,
anything else?
before
Anybody else?
Mikey, go ahead. I just real quick, man. It's been a great conversation. I love to keep talking, but
Yeah,
I
no
got
problem.
kids to wake. I got kids to wake up in the morning for first day of school. I know
No
because
problem,
got
Jay.
work in the morning at 6 a.m. So
Yeah, you go.
I am.
All right,
I
guys.
appreciate you guys inviting
problem.
us on today. Been a
No
phenomenal
problem.
conversation, man.
Yeah,
Sean,
guys,
I love talking to Sean, Mikey. It's been an honor talking to you,
Yep.
Tommy, everybody.
No
Man,
problem.
please tune in this Wednesday, Mafia Talk. Me and Big Cuz going live this Wednesday at 8 o'clock, man. Please come through, show some love. We show love back, man. It's Go Bills. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Better guys.
He's an opener coming up.
I'll tell you guys my last thought because I don't know if you're going to get into it later in the show.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to throw my prediction. I'm going. It's either going to be 12-5 or 10-7, somewhere in between there. That's my. That's
Not terrible.
No scoring, but let's go.
All right, guys. Hey, everyone, show Mafia Talk some love on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, right here on Mafia Sports Report. Those dudes are my dudes, man. They're rolling
Let's
with
go.
Mafia Sports Report.
Appreciate you guys.
And they are my dudes. All right, have a good night, guys. Go Bills.
Yo,
Good
peace
night,
out.
Go
Go
Bills.
Bills. Let's go. Big Doves coming up this week.
Peace. Peace.
Peace.
All right. So where's Sean at? Sean disappeared on us. Sean. All right. Sean's
Sean's
back.
there.
Sean's back. All right. So ready to move on. So we only have a couple more guys.
Okay.
Who will replace Stephon Diggs? Mikey, start with you.
Nobody.
Whoa. That was a quick answer. All right.
You can't replace that.
I agree.
It's going to be broken up. No one's going to get the 170 targets. It's going to be a divvied up between Kincaid and Shakir and Samuel. I think those are going to be your main three.
I'm with you. Mikey.
Yeah,
Sean.
I agree as well. And I always look back to what Kansas City did when they lost Tyreek Hill the first year. Mm-hmm. That one running back had like 15 touchdown receptions. So it was they didn't have the same yardage, but they replaced his output of points with someone else. So I think what Diggs had 8 or 9 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
If I look at it from a touchdown standpoint, I think a guy like Kincaid could probably get 9 touchdowns. So without the yards and the catches, just looking at point output, I think Kincaid can do that. And if not Kincaid, then why can't Shakir get 9 touchdowns? I feel like he can do it as well. So that's why I think.
Last 3 years, he's had 10, 11, and 8.
Okay, yeah, 8. So yeah, I think any one of these guys that we have high hopes for.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be broken up a little bit within each of those guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dan coming in, I think Kincaid is going to be Josh's go-to. It will be Oliver Coleman. See, I don't think so. I think I agree with the Kincaid thing, but I don't think Coleman's going to get like the top
doubles. I don't think he's going to doubles either.
Yeah,
I don't think a corner and they're going to try to jam him.
Yeah, but not only that, I think this benefits Coleman if anything, because I think the guys we have on our team, Shakir's going to get, I think, the number 1 look from the corners. I think
Shakir's going to be in the slot. I don't think they're moving their number 1 into the slot.
Well,
I think they're going to bracket him. They're going to run a defense that brackets him.
But I still think he's going to get the most, like, defenses are going to be more concentrated on Kincaid and Shakir than Coleman and Samuel. But I think it's going to benefit Coleman I think Coleman's going to be a guy that defensive coordinators right now don't have much on Coleman. Matter of fact, Coleman didn't really even do much in the preseason. It didn't really even work with Josh Allen much. So there's not a lot that they can go on right now. So I think Coleman right now is like low on anyone's list as far as defensive coordinators concerned about Coleman, where they're going to double him. So that benefits Coleman, if anything. But we'll see. Like I said, but Kincaid would definitely get, I think, the most. I
think he's the most targets.
Most targets, yeah. All right, next one. Will Connor McGovern succeed in his switch to center? Mikey?
Yes. I think Cromer's too good of a offensive coordinator for it not to work. Okay.
All right, Sean?
I'm not against it, but like I said, if he was bad at left guard last year, then I would even more approve of the switch. But even Dallas, where they're an offensive line factory, he played left guard over there. And, at the end of the day, he could play center. He could be good at center. But, again, and I do trust Cromer as well. I'm still against the move. I just feel like he'd be better suited for us at left guard. And, he might produce at center. But then we got a hole at left guard, and I don't think that's going to be filled this year. And I think at least this year would have been fine, leaving him at guard. And then if Van Pran didn't work out, or Anderson or Clapp, one of your guys that would have fought for the job, then you could move him over. But I just feel like it was just an unnecessary move because he was succeeding with Dawkins next to him. And but yeah, I gotta trust the coaching staff and hope that it works out. But he definitely could. But
you also have to remember Dallas had an All-Pro center, so he wasn't going to play there. That's why he played left guard, is because they already had a center. That was one of the reasons why they let him go, is because he wasn't their primary guard. His best position is actually center. It's what he came out playing from college. Yeah,
but even in college, he only played half the time at center. He still played guard in college, and and you're right. He did in Dallas. They had a good center too, but they drafted Biotic after McGovern got drafted. So they still went with. But yeah, like you said,
I would have much rather had SDP as our center and left him alone, but I think that Cromer is such a good offensive line coach that he's going to make it work. I think he's going to be fine. Do I think he's going to be an All-Pro? No. But do I think he's going to be as good as Morris was there? I think yes. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mikey. Last one. Who will be the Bills' leading rusher? I guess I'm Cook for me. I mean, right? I mean,
it's gonna be Cook.
Yeah, I would go with it because it was last year, and I don't think he's not going to be RB1. I think he's still going to get the more carries than obviously Ty or
here's a better version of that.
Ray Davis.
Will Cook hit 1,000 yards?
I think so, but like I said earlier, I think he'll match what he did last year, maybe a little bit less, but I think he's going to get 1,000 around that range. I think all purpose he'll be about what he was last year. And I want to say if he doesn't hit 1,000, Mikey, it's going to be close. It's going to be like 925 or something like that, only because Ray Davis eventually will start taking more.
It's not just Ray Davis.
Well, that too. You're right. Johnson and Josh Allen. That's why you got to. Oh, and Curtis Samuel
has packages that he's in the backfield.
You are correct with that.
That's why I don't know if he hits 1,000 yards rushing this year.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be close. I think he'll either hit it or it'll be something like 900, 925.
But I think he'll still lead our team in rushing. Because when Samuel did it, didn't Samuel have like 300 yards rushing when he hit close to 1,000 yards in his year with Brady. And he had like 300 and something rushing and like 6+ receiving to hit the 1,000.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it'll be somewhat close. It'll be around what he had last year.
I think all purpose he'll go over the 1,000.
That I agree with for sure. All purpose he'll go over. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys, from you guys tonight? I think we 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was a long one. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I had a great time. Man. I had a great time, and man, we have 1,300 people still on here. It's unbelievable. The amount of people.
We appreciate you guys riding with us for this long.
Bills Mafia, thank you once again for joining us tonight. Mafia Sports Report. You can catch us on Monday nights at 9, Friday nights at 9 on Mafia Sports Report. Friday Night Lights with me and Mikey. Saturday, Mikey has at 2:00 a fantasy football show with Howie called Fantasy Kingdom. At 4:00 this Saturday at 4, we're starting AFC Shakedown, which is a round table. And I got new hosts this year for the Jets and the Patriots. That's going to be fun. So tune in this Saturday. We're going to have all the guys back: Curtis, Captain D, the new guys covering both their squads. And then what else? Wednesday at 8. I got a lot going on. Wednesday at 8 is Jay and Big Cuz, who were on tonight. Mafia Talk. So you want to tune into them as well. And then the guy below, Sean from Red, White, and Bills, the guy that was here helping us tonight and joining us and having a good time with us. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel, Red, White, and Bills, and also Nickel City Mafia, who's also affiliated with. Great dudes, man.
Sean, what do you got coming up?
Yeah, so on Saturday nights, me and Brett from Go Bills podcast, we do our pregame shows for Nickel City Mafia, and then I will be doing my film segments when the season starts. I'm probably going to break it up into 2 shows, one half and another half, and then I might be putting out a pregame and a postgame on my channel as well. But yeah, so up until the season starts, we'll be doing I'm going to try to do a pregame this week. And then again, we got our pregame show also on Nickel City Mafia Saturdays at 8:30. I think we're gonna go with 8:30. But yeah, once the season starts, we'll get into film and it'll be fun. Pre-games, post-games.
All right, man. Pretty good stuff. And by the way, me and Mikey also do post-game. We're probably the first channel of all the channels.
Yeah, always.
Sure. We go first. So you will see us
within 5 minutes of the game.
I mean, within 5 minutes. Yeah. We are on either pissed off or super happy.
We don't let our emotions settle. We just jump in and say how
one
it
or
is.
the other. Yeah, you get one or the other. So, and by the way, yeah, Josh Allen, they have us going 3rd in the division this year.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bills Mafia, we're out of here. We love you. Thanks for riding with us all night long. Go Bills.
Go Bills.